Hello, my friends. Welcome to day 4 of Contenders Trials here in the EMEA region. My name is Bull Skunk alongside Chef Billy, and we're here to see which teams can punch their way not only into Contenders proper, but for a shot at the newly announced Gauntlet coming up in the end of November, beginning of December. We're going to start off with a heck of a match today. Oblivione taking on Violet Sped Momentum.
Yeah, we're going to call them VSM from now on because I'm not going to get stuck with that tongue twister for the whole day. So we're going to start out by looking at VSM. We see some players coming from not only Contenders experience, but also some World Cup experience in Moose and Sir Gibson, respectively, for Germany and Switzerland. Also, you've got a lot of players here that have been on different rosters across the Contenders landscape. So we want to see how they are going to come together. They are coming in 1 and 2 with a 4-8 map score, so they're on a -4 differential. And this Group B seems to be very contentious. We're looking at Oblivione in the top spot. They're kind of running away with it right now in 3-0, and Old and Board on 2-1 above them. But then the third spot, that's where I'm really looking to see who's going to rise to the top of this middle of the pack area. I want to see, what they can bring to the table here. This is going to be a tall order for VSM today because Oblivione, of course, being the pedigree team that they are, even though I do not see Vestola in the lineup. So we see Renee coming in for them. This is going to be a bit of a different, interesting look for Oblivione. But, the 5 core members that we see there, not a lot of turnover.
Coach has been around the team for a long time. Also coaches Team Kara QAAR, not to be confused with the player over in NA Contenders Trials. So, the brains behind the teams can lend themselves so much into what you see executed on the battlefield. With that said, VSM 1 and 2, not out of it yet, but they're going to need a strong showing today against a very strong 3-0 Oblivione. Oblivione have only dropped 1 map in our first 3 days of trials as we get day 4 started on Lijiang Tower.
Absolutely, and here on Lijiang Tower, especially this control center, I want to see, a lot of brawl coming out. I want to see them really take the aggression to each other. And, we've seen some very weird compositions come out. It kind of settled for a little while on Symmetra Junkrat and the DPS department, but you may see something a little bit different coming out from these teams today.
Showing us Symmetra May right now. We'll see if they stick with the sim. It looks like EXO will stick with the Symmetra, while Love going over to the Reaper. We're going to get Renee on the Sigma with Moose on the Zarya start things off. Slay on that Baptiste, and just to note, we are on patch 1.53, so the Baptiste buffs have not quite gone through. Still, Immortality Field, a very useful cooldown, Billy.
Absolutely, and I have to be honest. I'm kind of loving Moose's name because that is my nickname. It's also my Twitter handle. So I gotta respect the German off-tank player for the choice of name there. But the aggression coming in from Oblivione, they're just really pushing in to VSM and just taking the aggression into them. And look, the ultimate's already coming up online. Slay's going to have that amplification matrix. They might be able to use that in this chokehold here and just rain damage in. Look at the shots coming through from Slay.
Already throwing down that amp matrix, keeping the pressure on VSM right out of the gate. That Baptiste provides, like a lot like a Zenyatta, provides that extra damage. Well, as I mentioned his name, Slay goes down to a shot from Love, who's swapped over to a Widowmaker. An interesting choice. Good to get out of spawn, but not going to find much value if they choose to stick with it going in. Speaking of going in, VSM pathed around the outside to avoid that primary choke. And now they're going to make their way onto the objective. Love in the back, trying to find a shot, trying to burn down Sana on the Symmetra. It's going to take out the Immortality Field as the Gravitic Flux comes out from EXO. Coalescence used from Ruby to keep the team topped off, but Love gets found out in the backline, which means that Junkrat is circling around. Could get in a very dangerous position as VSM are starting to get collapsed upon. Sana finding the kill on Gibson. Riptire coming out, looking for the Reinhardt. No, he's going to go for the Moira. Takes Ruby down, and EXO maintaining control.
My goodness, the cleanups coming through fast and furious right now. You've only had to invest 2 ultimates there into that fight. I'm really liking the aggression and the willingness to peel back for their DPS players and the healer core of Oblivione. You've got 3 ultimates online. Love getting another shot into Slay. Slay's positioning's got to be a little bit tighter there because they're being found out by the Widowmaker of VSM.
White Noise is going to take Love down with a charge as Love was forced to move on to the point. Drops a little ha-ha there in the chat. I mean, that was a lot of pressure for Love. If you're going with a Widowmaker on Control Center, you're putting a lot of stock in the ability to get those picks, and just didn't quite culminate into much for them on our opening round. But we're headed to Night Market, see if they can turn the tides.
I mean, here, you could have a total compositional shift for both teams. Running the Wrecking Ball here wouldn't be a bad idea. But, I mean, if you're really wanting to keep the sustain that you normally run, then I think, you keep the Reinhardt Sigma. You just take the slow, methodical push into it and maybe bring out the Zen Brigitte in your support core to really take care of your tank line and your support line.
We're going to get the hamster feet comp coming out of EXO with the Tracer and the newly buffed Soldier 76. That one is on this patch. Does have that 30-round clip. And the adjustments to the added recoil, not so much of the RNG with the bullets. As Love is sticking with this Widowmaker once again, and I think I like it even less on Night Market than I did on Control Center. I mean, if you take a fight out in the courtyard area, sure, the Widow can get those angles, but that requires you to get control of this point right out of the gate, and so far, EXO are the ones claiming that, planting their flag on the objective, and finding a couple kills, though losing Sana might be an opportunity for VSM to push in, but White Noise is going to answer right back and take away that advantage.
So, I love the Echo pick here from Sir Gibson, another one of those World Cup participants for Switzerland. I love that one, especially with the Ruby Pocket from Noctis coming by way of Susanoo. But I'm not liking the Widow here. You don't have enough sight lines, and especially with the brawling nature and the shielding of the Sigma, you're going to have a darn time getting through the shielding of that. You're going to have to find, multiple angles of ingress to even try and get a pick.
Yeah, Love swapped over to the Ashe, received a nano boost and tried to burn down White Noise, but the hamster, too elusive, able to get out of dodge before too much damage was done. And now you've got Sana in the backline harassing the Southern Belle. The peel coming through as Ruby and Moose fall back to help Love out. They're still not able to find that opening pick, and there's still just too much damage coming in from all angles. Slay able to find that headshot as a Gravitic Flux comes through. Tac Visor from EXO as well. And with 67% and counting, they are firmly in control.
Yeah, and that was a little expensive there. Not going to lie. That was 3 ultimates to control the point and keep the point pressure on. And these exit kills that are coming through for Oblivione are absolutely staggering for VSM. Love does get a little bit of payback, though, and taking Cloud down again on this Soldier 76. So that might be a very beneficial pick. They need to push on this, though, as we're entering last fight territory already.
Well, and EXO still will maintain both of their support ults. Mines are ready to go, so a lot of area denial available. Transcendence coming out from Slay, not quite sure what prompted that. They may want it back, but in the end, the advantage of EXO is too much, and it may not even matter. Mines thrown over the entrance to protect. Not allow anybody to get close. Moose throwing in a self-destruct to try to create some space. Mines out from VSM as well, but there's nobody left alive to take advantage of. Sana finds a 3K as the map closes out. EXO with an extremely clean 2-0 victory on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, it's just the DPS difference. Honestly, I mean, running the Widow 1.5 maps there, Man, it's just it wasn't getting the value that you needed. So love bringing that out. That was not what you needed to see, but that's control. So now we'll go on to Rialto next for our escort map, and we'll see how they aggress through here. I did like the healing coming out of Ruby, but I mean, with all the pressure that was coming in from White Noise and Renee, they never seemed like they were going to be dislodged from the point. And that's going to be the first point of insistence that VSM have to look at, is how are they going to deny the space taking from the tanks of Oblivione?
I mean, EXO is a very experienced squad. You're talking about a squad, I mean, they got first in our contenders for the month of October. Prior to that, they didn't even need to play in contenders, as they got second place in the contenders proper, falling only to British Hurricanes in the grand finals for the month of August, and then fourth in July. So this is really only the second time we've even seen EXO in trials. And they're showing that experience so far in this opening map.
I mean, experience matters. And that's not to say that VSM doesn't have experience themselves. I mean, you've got 2 World Cup competitors here. You've got people that have been playing, basically since beta, not only in the competitive sense, but also on orgs and teams. So, there is experience on VSM. It's just, at this higher tier, at the higher echelon of the games that we're seeing now, they may be just a little bit behind. I mean, they are a newly formed team, and how they took the ultimate spot here in trials, we're not exactly sure. But you can go along the journey with us and figure out how they got here. So
yeah, we're kind of all learning together with this team. I mean, it's
all learning together.
Newly created. We have not even seen them on stream before. They did not play an open division. This is the first time we're seeing them in trials. So I mean, yeah. Friends at home, you're learning along with us how this group of, veterans, the players from VSM have all been around for a while, but we'll see how they continue to mesh as this series goes on. I mean, clearly EXO on paper, the clear favorites in this matchup. VSM certainly trying to create that anime underdog story right now. Yeah,
I mean, they're going to have to really battle back here and take it to Oblivione. They're just going to have to, throw caution to the wind and make their mark here, because, they're sitting at 1 and 2. If they go to 2 and 2, then that really opens up Group B wide open, depending on what the other matches do. But their fate is not in their own hands. They've got to have some help from the teams above them as well to try and get into contenders for the next rotation of that. So we'll need to see a little bit more cohesion with the team, not pulling out a Widowmaker on a map that really didn't have any business doing it. Yeah, you clicked a couple heads, but, as far as how did it help your team, what was your intention behind picking the Widowmaker? You could have echoed your own Junkrat there. You could have kept with the Reaper. You could have done, even bringing out a Hanzo would have been a little bit better because of the shield break potential that you have with that hero. So I think compositional picks are going to be what's going to dictate the next, maps that we have going on here, Bullskunk.
Well, speaking of, Violet spend momentum are going on to the defense to start things off on Rialto, bringing the Widowmaker once again under Love's capable hands. And the double shield, not something we've seen a whole lot in recent times, certainly not this week. On the attack, EXO bringing out the hamster feet with the Soldier 76 and the Tracer.
I don't hate it, but look at all this free space that you're getting right now. If you're Oblivione, you're loving this. And Sana taking down one of the conditions for keeping the team up and keeping that res up. You've lost your 7th man advantage already. Sana getting the quick extermination onto Noctis.
Yeah, VSM left the stairway wide open, the most vulnerable flank angle for this high ground, and EXO is just allowed to put pressure on from 2 different angles. They can go up the stairs, find the supports, find Sir Gibson like we're seeing right there. And they're trying to come back in the other side. Moose and Blur answering back. All the while, though, somebody's got to touch card. Okay, the defense will drop down and contest. EXO do still have a couple of members on the flank, and Cloud's going to take Blur down. Now it's just Moose and Love left on the point. With the rest coming through onto Blur, they might be able to stabilize. Moose taking down Slay. Just the ticket there for VSM. Renee with a kill onto Love on the back end, but I still think we're going to need a soft reset from EXO.
Absolutely, they are. And right here,
Maybe
we're
not.
seeing- maybe
No,
not.
maybe not.
Tac visor.
Cloud
Holy
just-
crap.
Yeah, Cloud just gets 3 with the tac visor. That works too.
I mean,
Jeez.
little
Woo,
did we
beautiful
know.
shot. Beautiful
Make it
shot.
4. Give the man a 4K. Quick as you like. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to get through the second point as we are going to approach L'Angolo della Morte, the corner of death, considered one of the hardest geographical spots in all of Overwatch. You see teams get full held here so many times. And look at this forward pressure coming from White Noise Bullskunk. He is doing exactly what a Wrecking Ball needs to do, and that is pure, unadulterated disruption discretion.
I thought you were going to say that is feed.
That's a feed too. Yeah. I was trying to be nice about it, Bullskunk.
No, that was a feed. Wow, I mean, I'm just going to call it like I see it. White Noise was getting a little bit of hubris there. Found himself surrounded by VSM.
Whoa, what a
Cloud's going to
shatter!
get taken out, down, Shatter. Yeah, Shatter lands, and they're able to get a couple kills on that. Transcendence in there to protect him in the meantime. Valkyrie, another Transcendence is Gibson copied, and Nano Boost thrown in. So technically 3 support ults invested from VSM, and still 2 points on the board and over 5 minutes on the bank for EXO.
Good, and I loved. I mean, we saw it in Chinese Contenders last night where they kept duplicating the Zenyatta. So double Transcendence will definitely keep your team alive, but if they are already done and dusted before you do that, maybe not necessarily the right time to mash the Q button in a panic. So, pushing through here now. You've got the tac visor getting Cloud. Last time that they did press Q on that, they got a 3K with it. So, Supercharger's got to be dealt with first, and then you can start to progress in.
Fun fact, Supercharger has the second highest team fight win rate of any ultimate, the first, of course, being EMP at this stage in the game. As we had 2 early kills from the defense, Cloud's going to answer back and take Moose down, who's swapped over to the Roadhog. But Sir Gibson answers right back. Pulling out the legs, finding a couple. EXO will find a couple of their own, but of course this respawn is going to favor the defense so much. Sir Gibson sticks his nose outside of the Cathedral a little too far. Gets picked off and might have just left a power play, as EXO is going to pounce on this with a quickness, Billy.
Yep, and I think that you can actually really take the pressure in and attack with either the sound barrier or the Transcendence.
That's going to be the tac visor coming out. Cloud make a good use of it once again. Finding 3 with it once again. Cloud just getting wonderful angles. Gibson does strike back and get a pair, but it's not going to be enough to hold the point. EXO completing Rialto with 3:37 left in the clock.
That was done with a quickness and a lethality that, it was surgical. Coming from ex-Oblivione, that was disgustingly fast, and looking at how they're going to aggress now. Cloud just lighting up the feed. We need to see it. You need to see it. They're looking for a fast series here, I believe. I don't think they came to play. I think they want to just get back up into Contenders where they belong.
And that was not only a mechanical difference, but a composition difference as well. VSM seemed to be bouncing around a little bit on what they want to play, perhaps trying to play to their strengths. Maybe they aren't, they're not specialists on what the current meta is, so they're trying to play to their strengths a little bit. That's what I'm seeing, at least with my eye test, Billy. But EXO, they've got the mechanical skill, and they're playing the meta comps. Coming out on the defense, I think they're just they're just playing mystery heroes, it looks like right now.
It very well could be. I'm just not sure what the intention is. We always talk about what are the intentions, what is your intention to bring in the certain heroes that you're bringing in, what are you planning on doing with said heroes. And I don't think that VSM has found their identity as a team maybe so far as yet, because they're just really, it's a vacillating composition. And especially when you run the Widow and you're not getting the picks and you stubbornly stick on it until halfway through the second point, that's a compositional difference. That's also a little bit of stubbornness. But getting to this level of play, you have to think that, they're really know what they're doing here. But it's just a little bit of stubbornness, I think, and a little bit of compositional difference, as I said.
Well, Slay and White Noise getting taken out of the gate. There goes Kara and the double shield Tracer Soldier working for VSM on that attack. As I think Exo's going to swap over to something a little bit more serious. They were just kind of bringing out a hodgepodge of characters, none of them really having a whole lot of synergy outside of the Nano Blade, of course. They're going to contest on the back of this, but Renee goes down immediately. White Noise comes back in on the hammer to try to stall for as long as possible, but Sir Gibson takes him out.
Now, you know, yeah, in the previous match they had against Old and Board, they actually got beaten on Rialto here, and it was a 2-1 win. It was pretty fast going against them. I don't know if this is a map where they've decided that they're going to try out new compositions or stuff, but I mean, it looked like they were taking it seriously against Old and Board, and they ended up getting really rolled. But you know, they're going to have to make their stand here and take the aggression coming, because I mean, 5 minutes on the clock right now. Renee doing it great. That's a huge eat of the pulse bomb as well from Renee. So value there for the Sigma. And I mean, Sana's going to have to get some healing real quick.
Yep, Sana's low, but Sana's able to get quite a few picks in that last fight. Couple of ults coming up though, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Tac Visor coming in. You're going to have Supercharger pretty soon. Transcendence to keep you alive through the Dragon Blade. That's going to be the real point.
It's the Nano Blade that I'm looking at, and here it comes. The Transcendence is there from Ruby, but there's a massive anti over the pack. Gibson and Noctis both not getting any beneficial healing from the Transcendence, and Sana's able to pick off 4.
You have to give the golden star there to Slay, landing that massive anti into the middle of the clumped up group of VSM there, because the Transcendence did come out to answer.
And now Exo's touching the spawn door. You know, I think you get a golden star if you touch the spawn door. You can see White Noise once again rolling out way in the back line, and the Brig and Sigma were on the other side. VSM will eventually deal with both, but Exo should have enough time to get them back in position to hold this corner. Ooh, nice flurry of Hypersphere. Some Moose take Kara out there.
Yes, and the Discord Orb was on Kara as well, so of course that extra damage going into him. So, you know, the corner of death here. You've got Flux, you've got Bomb, you've got Pulse Bomb, you've got Tac Visor and Supercharger. Lead out with that. Try to pull what you can out of Oblivione here and get on to point 3.
Oh, Renee takes Moose out of the fight. Moose not able to pull out the Gravitic Flux. That could have been the fight winner that they needed to follow up on the Supercharger. But alas, not to be found. Exo is able to stabilize, and White Noise going for a swim.
Yeah, I think he just missed the brakes there and just went into the river. It happens.
You know, you can come out of your ball form and you immediately stop. It stops all of your momentum. But I mean, I think White Noise is just out here having fun, to be honest.
Speaking of having fun, Sana going off of the Genji now and bringing out the Widow and taking the 1v1 versus Love, and Love is going to win that one. There's going to be some serious push coming through here for VSM, and they're gonna have to really be careful here.
I mean, from the wise words of Zenyatta, overconfidence is a flimsy shield, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that out of Exo right now, but I think they're gonna kick it up a gear as the cart approaches, but VSM might ride the momentum and push this thing into the back of point B. It'll give them about 3.5 minutes to finish off the map.
You're running into Pulse Bomb from Cloud. Kara's pretty close to another Transcendence, so you'll be able to defend against the aggression coming in from VSM. Pulse Bomb out, takes out Noctis. That is good, so the Ellie is off the field right now.
Yeah, very important pick indeed, as you'd like to have that rally to initiate the fight and get that 50 extra armor on your entire team. Slam comes through, is going to force out Transcendence. Little trigger happy on that one, I'd say, because Exo is going to have a couple of important ults online, most notably that Gravitic Flux. Mine's not too far behind, though White Noise gets taken out on the back of the fight. Noctis has returned, drops that rally, and there's a Tracer back there, but they should be able to take care of that. They're not paying attention to the Tracer. Cloud is invisible right now. Either that or VSM are just choosing to continue to press forward. They do manage to find a couple kills as Gibson finally handles the flank. And VSM threatening to push this cart home, and they're not too far behind the time set by EXO.
No, they're not, but they actually forgot about the cart for about 10, 15 seconds there while they were pursuing exit kills. And they really had a chance there to get a lot of progress going, but man, that is huge. That's another good flux coming out of Renee, and the follow-up onto everybody else is just
that's what you needed, that Transcendence for right there, Billy. That's why Ruby should have saved their Transcendence to block that exact ultimate.
Yep, and Kara does have theirs. So, you initiate with Rally, you get the flux out, you know that you're going to be safe through it, and then the exit kills that you get there, it's nice cleanup from them. Love will have the pulse bomb, though. Got to be looking at Kara once again, because you've got to know they have they had a Transcendence.
Oh, yeah, that pulse bomb just landed into the pack, weakened both tanks, and the follow-up is there from Slay.
That is order of operations right there. They did invest the mines there too as well. That looked very scary in there if you were an opposing team, because it was just a labyrinth of mines there. Sir Gibson gonna have a tac visor, might be able to get some kind of a power play here, especially as White Noise goes and takes another drink into the lake of Rialto.
But EXO taking this fight so close to VSM's spawn that they'll be able to get a second fight before VSM can get back to the cart. Now, they are a little divided. You can see the Sigma and the Brig on the back end as White Noise comes in. Cloud is swapped over to the Doomfist off of the Tracer. But gets taken out by Sir Gibson's tac visor, who's now got their attention focused on Dakara. Renee kills himself with some Hyperspheres, and VSM win themselves an engagement.
Supercharger and Gravitic Flux online. You've got the Transcendence to keep you up through the fight as well. Cloud bringing out the Bastion. This is a little meme coming out from them, I have to say, and Slay is going to bring out something that is going to have a nice effect, especially going into these ultimates that are about to come out, the Immortality Field.
Ruby right there with the Transcendence this time, not allowing them to get decimated by that Gravitic Flux as Moose tries to throw one down of their own. Supercharger is out, and Love's going to land the stick onto Sauna, but Cloud on this Bastion is just putting so much hurt and forcing VSM to just stay behind cart. They're not allowed to get aggressive like they'd want to follow up on these kills, and after the advantage, EXO are the ones pushing them out off the cart and taking Rialto 3-2, now on match point here in day 4 of Trials.
Yeah, and that was a little bit closer than you might have expected, considering what they were running.
I think EXO was kind of playing with their food a little bit.
Cat and mouse, absolutely. So, that's what you like to see. 2-0, like you said, on series point. This would take them to 4-0. That pretty much would stamp their spot into Contenders proper, if I'm not mistaken. But, it's not over yet. VSM still has a chance to come back. They still have a chance to fight their way and maybe get some map points. It might come down to map differential depending on how these next matches in Group B go. It just depends.
EXO have only dropped one map. I know. EXO pretty much have this thing shirt up. Let's be realistic. They're not looking like they're going to give up this map here today, which means they'll leave today with a 12-1 map record, assuming Volskaya goes the way that the first 2 maps have gone. Obviously, VSM has a chance. I mean, season, because this is it. If you don't make it into Contenders now, you're not going to be playing in any official tournaments till 2021. But I think that's where VSM is at. They're learning experience, trying to get some synergy between this new squad. EXO, very, very veteran squad with some high pedigree. There's nothing for VSM to hang their head about here. They're just fighting in above their weight class right now.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to punch into the heavyweight region, and they're maybe a welterweight right now as far as synergy goes and as far as the team compositions goes. So, as we head to Volskaya, are we going to see a little bit more of the cat and mouse coming from Oblivione? They could pull out, their own Widow here. It just depends on how they want to really address this point. They're going to be on the defense first here.
Yeah, XO starting a soft defending. Heading into Volskaya. See if they... No, they're swapping roles on us here, Billy. This is... they're officially playing with their food. As everybody is just doing the flip-flops. Coach Renee going over to the Brig as Kara picks up the Sigma. I mean, it vaguely looks like a meta comp. They're just on off rolls.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Kara. I mean, Kara's been playing off role too, as well, according to their team sheet. They're actually a flex DPS playing in the support role. So, this is the third role that we see for them now, playing on the off tank. I'm not hating it. I don't mind it. Let's just see how it goes here.
And VSM coming out on the Hog Orisa. What do you think they're going to need to do to make this Hog Orisa work against the meta hamster feet composition?
I mean, off rolls, it's hard to tell, to be honest. But I mean, I like the setup that they've got going on right now. Kara going along with Slay to take care of the high ground on the right-hand side. But I think if you're going for it, the Halt Hook has to come out. It's got to get one of the supports first, or one of the DPS first, to get a quick assassination. And then just put point pressure onto Oblivione and deny them the space there, and just take a quick fight and get in there and get them out.
Well, that's a good pick to start things off, taking Sana down. Love is going to win the Tracer duel against White Noise, the main tank player currently on Tracer. And that's a +2 for the attacking VSM as they look to take the high ground. Sir Gibson in the back did not quite have the heal station available before Kara and Slay push in and even up the odds. Now Slay's dropping the tac visor right on the objective, giving EXO the advantage they need, but Sir Gibson and Love answer back and say, you know what, VSM's not going down without a fight. Love's going to take down Sana, but this attack is just looking broken now, Billy.
I think that they've put a mental boom onto VSM here. And I mean, seeing them come out on off rolls, that's got to be just absolutely mind crushing right there. They're going to get a permanent progress tick here. So now they're going to have to touch, if you are Oblivione, and get into the fight here. Pile driver missing there, but the coming out from White Noise lands onto Sir Gibson.
Yeah, and I think this is just a test of your mental. If you're VSM, you just need to stay focused and just play your game. Don't let EXO's shenanigans throw you off. Don't let them get in your head and live rent-free. You need to come out and just execute the things that you've been practicing in your scrims. Execute the things that your coaches are telling you. I mean, that's why you train. That's why you practice. And right now, I'm not sure that they're succeeding in that exercise, Billy.
No, and I mean, what do? I mean, as a player, when you see people coming in, they're just basically memeing on you. That's got to be just the hardest thing to try and get against. But, there's some swaps coming through now for VSM. They're trying to deny what Oblivione are trying to do here. They brought out the damage mitigation potential of the Diva with Moose. You can get to the high ground a lot easier now. The only person that's going to be able to contest you up there on the high ground, unless you're already sitting up there, is Sana, that can use the grappling hook to get up there.
And I like that the VSM are trying to make adjustments. When I say play your game, I don't mean be overly stubborn. Try to counterpick as Blur gets a double kill with the pile driver. There you go, Blur. That's an opening, finding both supports with the Wrecking Ball. Now Moose is going in, grabbing center box, trying to get some position to create space, but White Noise in the back, able to pick off Noctis with the Pulse Bomb, and that's a large chunk of VSM's healing, now back in spawn.
Yep, and I mean, look at this. They've still got the 1 point. They're still coming into some ultimates here of their own. They're going to have mines to be able to start. Oh, my goodness. Ruby going down. That's going to be a crusher because he's 91 to Transcendence. And now the tac visor being dropped by Slay, getting some nice value, demeching Moose, and also taking Noctis out, who has swapped over to the Lucio.
We don't need to have panic swaps. That's the other thing. Noctis, there's no need to go to the Lucio that quickly. There was still time for you to get back onto the point as Brig, which you're now swapping back to, realizing you don't have enough sustain nor peel to protect your Zenyatta. The Zenyatta, very important in this comp. I love that. The Lucio swap was a bit of a misplay, and unfortunately VSM will only find 47% as of right now. Desperation Transcendence to try to get on the point. Let's see if they can make a last-ditch effort here at the end, as they're just have 2 members of EXO left on the objective. Oh, but Slay is on the off angle towards the back of the point, is going to pick up 1. Reinforcements starting to come in for VSM, but EXO is right there to cut him down. And speaking of down, there goes the overtime wick. One last-ditch touch from Blur. And now EXO with a very attainable win condition, needing a mere 54.7% to complete the 3-0 sweep and go 4-0 here in Trials November.
I mean, Slay putting the team on his back, coming from the support line into the DPS role, and his performance on Soldier 76 there, not too shabby. Couple of nice attack visor kills, but man, I mean, that's just gotta hurt. I think the adaptations that were trying to be made came a little bit late, not enough time to get any kind of ultimates up online. That spelled the downfall there for VSM. So, yeah, as you said, win condition set. All you got to do is basically get 55%, and you're going to go ahead and stamp yourself into Contenders November.
Now it's VSM's turn to defend. I'm curious what they're going to come out here with. So we've established that we think EXO's gotten in their heads a little bit. So what composition do you choose on the defense? I mean, so far we're seeing the Wrecking Ball Diva. I like Blur's Wrecking Ball. Seem to understand when to engage. The timing of that hero is so important. And I liked Blur's timing. So we'll see if they can find a bit of success. Obviously, a pretty easy win condition for EXO. But I want to see if VSM can win a couple engagements here and not just roll over and die. No pun intended.
Yeah, right. And I mean, the high ground hold here, not too bad. Love going to try and get a little bit of poke damage going in first, but it's going to be the first side that gets the ultimate advantage. That's where they're going to have to really take it to the team here, because if EXO starts getting the ultimates into their favor and getting quick picks, that's going to be absolutely detrimental to their hopes of getting any kind of a defense here. But that's a little bit of moxie coming in from Sana, going into the entirety of the team, and that's going to have to be a quick reset.
Renee, just no respect for Moose, and Moose demands it. Land in the Diva blasters as well as that melee on the end. And I like it. VSM win themselves a fight. They're able to prove that they at least deserve a modicum of respect from EXO.
Yeah, I mean, Love and Blur right now putting the team on their back and getting the kills that they need. Pulse Bomb already online, so that's going to be a bit of aggression. I mean, Sir Gibson, what you doing there, buddy? He's just standing up there giving the stern eye over the landscape of Volskaya. His gun was not at the ready, I can tell you that.
Staring contest, you and me. You win. You always do.
Trying to impress me. Hanzo coming out from Slay now, already 20% to the Dragon Strike. So, you know, we got the Shimada brothers out here. White House is going to have a Dragon Blade here very shortly.
The Mystery Heroes continues for EXO as they push on to the point. Honestly, the Hanzo's not a terrible pick. I mean, you've got Kara to shield the Hanzo as they push in, and they are running the Ana with the Genji. So we're going to get that Nano Blade out here. Could be the win condition they're looking for. Ruby not quite up to Transcendence, so there's really nothing to defend against it. And there goes the Nano. Out comes the Katana. Hack and Slash goes into the back line. Not quite able to find anything just yet. Is going to eventually find the Brig. Self-destruct coming in from the defensive VSM. We'll pick up 1. But White Noise and Renee able to find some kills. Renee finishing off both supports. EXO finishing off this series, taking the 3-0 victory, moving to 4-0 in Trials November, and still have only lost 1 map for the entirety of these 4 days.
12-1 map tour, 11 plus 11 differential.
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty dominant here in the trials scene, regardless of how you slice it. So that's been a pretty one-sided affair coming from ex-Oblivione VSM. You know, they were just punching out of their weight class today, and we really want to see come back in the next rotation of trials, perhaps, and make another run at it. Maybe get a little more synergy, a little more scrim, a little more practice under their belts.
Well, I mean, if they choose to stick around, yeah, they have the time.
Yeah, if they have the time. But, you know, that's all we got to look forward to is, you know, we know that ex-Oblivione, based upon what they have one more match. You know, possibility of going 5-0. That's definitely going to get you into contenders. Even 4-1, I think, will get you into contenders. So, I mean, it's all on the line for them there. They did what they had to do today. They got the win that they needed to get. And now, you know, they're just going to sit back and wait for their next match.
And I believe we should have an interview coming in. Just waiting for verification from my producer. Yeah, we're going to take a 60-second break, get an interview set up. We'll see you back here in a few. We won't be long, I promise. Welcome back, my friends. We are here with Kara, support player for ex-Oblivione, after a swift 3-0 victory. Congrats on the win. Thank you for joining us here in the interview.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a stellar performance so far through Trials Week. Only dropped one map so far, and I do believe that solidified your spot in Contenders proper. So I want to ask you, what are your expectations for your team heading into the final month of Contenders?
I would say my expectations are pretty positive. I've always felt that EXO has had the mechanical skill to beat any team, even Hurricane. Mechanically, we're good for that. At least when the meta is right for us. When we get on that Orisa, that break stuff, then we're really elite tier.
Right.
I guess I'm expecting the meta to be favorable for us in November and us to do well.
Fantastic. Is there any team that you're nervous about going up against? I mean, perhaps the likes of BH or the newly formed New Kings?
Well, New Kings seems to be still in its startup phase, and it's going to be interesting where they're going to climb through over the next month or so. But
Yes,
right
sir.
now, I'm not really worried about them at all. I don't think they're that strong yet. But as I said, it's going to be interesting to see how strong they'll get soon enough.
Right.
Hurricane is obviously always very.
I mean,
it's rough to play
yeah.
against them. It's rough to play against them when they're they've been together for so long. I guess the only other team would be Obey. I wouldn't say I'm nervous against them, but there's definitely a rivalry between our teams, and I really want to beat them.
Right on. That's awesome. Billy,
Now,
what do
my
you got?
question, my question coming in for you, Vestala. I heard your August interview with Vicky at Hurix when you brought Vestala onto Ex Oblivione from Young and Beautiful. He wasn't here today. Did you guys really miss him that much?
Yeah. I mean, he's a nice silent giant to have in the team. Very reliable, but I can't really say I missed him when we're just having a good time. And it's nice to play with Rene again sometimes too. He hasn't played with us in about 2 months.
Right.
Right. I mean, you speak about having fun. Yeah, Volskaya seemed to be a little bit of a map that you guys were able to have a lot of fun with. So, any reason behind that, or were you guys just having a good time?
Yeah, we're just trying to have a good time overall. Obviously, when you don't make it into contenders or you don't stay in the top 4, then you have a lot less time. A lot of teams usually take half a week or a week off after contenders. So when we don't have that, you need to unstress a little bit, have a good time in the matches that are easy, and try to have the motivation for the next month.
That's actually a pretty cool take. It's not just pure BM. I mean, there's actually a mental reset and a adding some brevity into the week. So that's cool to hear. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Do you have any shout outs or anybody you want to give thanks to or anything?
I would like to shout out my friend Messick because it's his birthday today, and yeah, so happy birthday, Messick.
Happy birthday, Messick. All right. Well, thanks
birthday,
again,
Messick.
Cara. Good luck to you in your final day, and we look forward to seeing you in Contenders.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Thank you as well. All right, friends, that does it for our first match. But have no fear, you haven't done away with Billy and I just yet. We're gonna be back with our second series of the day, Angry Titans taking on VASTA, when we return after this break. And we are here with our second series of the day for day 4 of Contenders Trials EMEA. My name is Bull Skunk alongside Chef Billy. And for the second match, we're going to see Angry Titans taking on VASTA Gaming. Angry Titans, they've struggled a little bit this week. They're going to need to be pretty much perfect from here on out if they want to get back into Contenders.
Yeah, absolutely, they do. And I mean, this is going to be, I think, one of the more interesting maps. It's middle of the road for these groups for these teams in Group B. So, you know, VASTA Gaming, you know, we're not seeing Rocket in the lineup. You know, Reinhardt not being preferred here, so Rocket taking a little seat to the side here. We're gonna see Julo on the main tank role and Nipahog obviously on that off tank role. What I'm really looking forward to, I want to see Kage and Memon's DPS play, because we know that Snappa, we know that Verbo, they're going to keep the team up in a fantastic manner. But if you're looking on the other side, Eli joining Angry Titans. And
I wanted to touch on Verbo real quick before we get on to Angry Titans, because Verbo picked up just a few days ago, and talk about some pedigree. Verbo was on Immortals back in the day and then moved on to play for the Los Angeles Valiant in the inaugural season of the Overwatch League. Just got overshadowed by the likes of Kareem and Unko. But nevertheless, I mean, true professional experience. Went on to play with Sky Foxes for a short stint there at the end of 2018, but then became their GM for the entirety of the following year, and has just recently come back out of retirement. But I think that kind of leadership could be just the ticket for VASTA. All right, sorry to interrupt you, Billy. All right, let's start talking about Angry Titans now.
Oh, let's talk about Angry Titans. And, you know, Eli coming over, oh gosh, where did he came over from
Ad Astra, was on War
Astra
before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and along with his teammate Levitate. Also, you know, so Levitate, formerly of VASTA Gaming as well. So Levitate is definitely going to know what VASTA is up to, at least somewhat. You know, metas have swapped since they've gone from that team. But Eli has the Contenders pedigree and is going to be able to bring that experience here into this series today. He might be able to lead his team into the promised land, but they're going to have to come up with a massive win here. They're only 1 point ahead of VASTA Gaming in the standings. 1 map differential point. So they're as close as you can be. This should be a very interesting series, not unlike what we just saw with EXO and VSM.
Well, and nothing worth mentioning. I mean, if you've been watching all week, you've heard us talk about Angry Titans trying to reclaim that former glory back in 2019 when they were, cream of the crop up there competing with the likes of Envy at the time and FU when. What was that in the Atlantic Showdown? I mean, the battle of both sides, and Angry Titans right up there when FU and Envy were in their heyday. I mean, they took first place back in Contenders 2019, won the whole tournament, and since have really struggled to regain that. And right now are threatening to not even make it into Contenders proper for the first time since July of Season 2. So, I mean, definitely a little bit of a different look from the roster. A couple of new players as gates open. Angry Titans, like I said, need to be flawless for these last 2 days.
And you're looking at the Ball and Diva coming out from both tank lines. So damage mitigation, aerial threats. We're seeing Memon on this Echo. We saw them in the EBC and really was able to pop off the smart usage of not only sticky bombs and focusing beam, but the duplicates that I saw coming out from Memon were absolutely crucial when they did get them in. But I think that Eli on this Sombra is going to be the win condition for Angry Titans.
Yeah, Eli has a mean Sombra. As we saw Julo get hacked right out of the gate. I believe that's going to be Eli's focus for those manual hacks. Ooh, Nippahog almost landed in the koi pond, but fortunately had those boosters available. And Crocs just swinging back and forth, rolling all over the front line of VASTA and not allowing them to even approach. And now Freyu has the Coalescence out, and that will be the fight winner. Finding a pair of kills, both supports, as a matter of fact, there, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, that's clean as you like. Julo does get the environmental kill onto Crocs, though, so main tank off the field. You've got that speed off the field. Snappa's gained the Transcendence, so it could be a point of aggression for them to come in. Verbo not far off coming to this rally, but I'm looking for Fall, maybe to land it onto either Snappa or Verbo.
We'll also be looking at this EMP coming out from Eli shortly. And if the stick lands on Snappe, that could take the only defensive ult off the board for the defense. Ramon going down early, and Eli does now have that EMP online. But Snappe is still on the battlefield. Pulse Bomb was used on the front line. Self-destruct out will take Kage out of the fight. No more DPS players. Transcendence used early. Sound barrier in response from Levitate. And Angry Titans not even needing the EMP to win this fight. Oh, they're going to go ahead and throw it in on the back end of it anyway. I don't think that was quite necessary. Despite the fact that VASTA had flipped the point, Angry Titans were winning. As I say that, Nippahog and Kage threatening to flip this fight back. So along with maintaining control, they've now found the picks to get the advantage.
Yep, and they're going to start with the aggression coming in. It was just a couple of really good focus down plays between Kage and Nippahog, just focusing and deleting members of Angry Titans off the server. So Freyu does have Coalescence. So they're going to be able to get a little bit aggressive with their push coming in. But Nippahog, self-destruct, great zoning tool. And if you catch anybody with it, that's just a bonus into it.
And Lijiang Tower was the one map we saw VASTA take off of OTP on Thursday. And I think this is a good opportunity for VASTA to start off strong in this series as they burn down Crocs and are able to demech Pure Irish. Both tanks off the battlefield as VASTA approaches a tie scoring percentage.
I mean, Eli's not farming up this EMP very quickly. I'm not sure if he's just not getting the value or if there's enough of a spy check going on from Nippa or Kage to stop the manual hacks from coming in, but he's only had one EMP. We're approaching 80%, and he's only halfway to his second one.
Well, that kill on to Verbo will help out in that endeavor. Pure Irish able to fight. Snappe as the Coalescence comes out over the point. Kage does have the pulse. Are they going to try to push it and shut down this Coalescence? No, they've used all their cooldowns. Do not have the resources to push in. Coalescence will burn out, and Freyu hurls themselves onto the mines recently placed from Julo. But Julo's hacked up, deleted by Pure Irish. Angry Titans will flip the point, but not before VASTA finds 98%.
And the ultimate economy, obviously, in favor of VASTA Gaming right now. I mean, you've got 4 online Verbo with the rally coming up very quickly. What I'm looking for is EMP and some kind of combination, either with the self-destruct or maybe with the pulse bomb. I mean, you can stack these and really stretch this point out as long as you like. You've just got to do it in the most adventurous fashion possible.
Mamone's going to go ahead and duplicate the Wrecking Ball and gets immediately hacked. Does get the mines up, but the EMP's then thrown. EMP is going to find 3, but Eli falls right into those recently placed mines, and Snape finds the kill on to fall. So both DPS absent from the fight as we go to 99-98. Overtime wick burning. VASTA with the edge. Mamone taking down Levitate, and now we're looking at a +3 for VASTA on this point. They're going to focus down the remaining members of Angry Titans and flip this thing over. Question is, will Angry Titans be able to get back with a solid fight? Eli with the swap over to the Symmetra, got the teleporter down, and Crocs is able to return and find a pair of kills. You've got Crocs and Fall left on the point. Verbo taking care of Fall. Now VASTA just needs to take care of this Hammond.
I mean, the Hammond is going to have to be the stall point that comes in, but I mean, I don't know if that's going to be enough for them. And Eli, you know, bringing out the Symmetra, trying to get the teleporter set up to get back onto the point faster. But Mamone landing those sticky bombs on a Fryu, that's your main source of healing gone. Fall going by the way of the grappling hook, spinning to win there. And it's all clean up now, Bull Skunk.
Yeah, good start for VASTA. They should take this opening round after a little bit of cleanup, like you said. Shutting down that Coalescence was huge. That was the last-ditch effort that Angry Titans had, and VASTA will take Gardens.
Yeah, and it was back and forth, fighting from both these teams, and I really appreciated the support play coming out of Verbo and Snappa. I mean, those rallies were absolutely perfectly timed coming out from Verbo, so you love to see it. I think the aggression from Julo also, you know, getting a lot of value, not only with the pile drivers and setting up his teammates for success, but also just the disruption. I mean, you never saw Eli getting the value that we are used to seeing from him on the Sombra because, I mean, only 2 EMPs for that entire round. That's not good generation from him. We know he can do better than that. So we'll look to be seeing if he can get a better performance here on Night Garden.
Yeah, keeping that Sombra in control is going to be key for VASTA. And we saw Eli get that first EMP up really quickly. It was the second one that was the struggle as Eli's going over to the Symmetra to teleport the team directly onto the objective. Angry Titans bringing out the Reinhardt and the Sigma. No change from VASTA as we head to Night Market. Mamone trying to pour down some damage from the outside, as VASTA are looking for any weakness, any opening to try to get onto this point. Point unlocked. Angry Titans start building percentage, but Levitate was caught in the back. It's focused down by the beam. Little revenge kill from Freyu, but Freyu goes down. No more supports left standing. A noticeable lack of sustain for Angry Titans. Let's see if VASTA can take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, there's your answer right there. There's no sustain. That means people are going to drop in a hurry. Crocs on the Reinhardt, just trying to keep the shield up, but the focus pressure coming in from Angry Titans is way too much, or from VASTA is way too much for them to handle. There's going to be a flip coming in at 30%.
Looks like we're getting some comp swaps as well as Eli's going over to the Sombra, fall to the Tracer. Kage does have Pulse Bomb online. Transcendence available for VASTA as they look to match the percentage built by Angry Titans during this fight. And if they can maintain control, I think this fight's going to be very important, Billy. This could set the pace for the way the ultimates are built up with all the recent swaps from Angry Titans. But unfortunately for VASTA, Mamone goes down early. Julo able to push in and take Freyu down. Snappy investing the Transcendence for a little reason. May want that one back, but VASTA able to win this fight.
Yeah, I mean, that may have been just a fat finger there. Because, I mean,
Kinda
the pressure
like
was already dealt with it. And, I mean, you've got Rally up. So, I mean, you do have an ultimate to keep you up. But I maybe the fingers swapped off the W button and went over to the Q button. But, I mean, nothing online right now for Angry Titans to aggressive. Fall coming close with a pulse bomb up, but here comes the rally. They're going to push into VASTA, or yeah, into Angry Titans, and just try to take the aggression to them.
As Verbo's former teammate Custa has said, fat fingers happen to the best of us as Verbo drops the rally down prior to the fight, but it doesn't keep Julo alive. Nipple Hog throwing out the self-destruct to try to buy space, and it looks like they flipped. VASTA pushed out into the courtyard to try to get aggressive against Angry Titans. They just circumvented and went right to the objective, flipped the point, and have now managed to find a pair of kills, forcing VASTA to reset.
And that might be being just a little mental mistake there, coming out of VASTA. But you're looking at ultimates coming up online for Angry Titans now. You're going to have Sound Barrier to really beef up the team there. You're going to have the EMP from Eli. He can hold on to this until a really desperate moment where the pressure's coming in too much. Also, Pure Irish is going to get this self-destruct pretty soon and be able to cordon off the point.
It's that EMP I'm looking for, because Snappy doesn't have the Transcendence just yet. Self-destruct there from Pure Irish, and Eli goes down. Beautiful play from Snappy, realizing they're not prepared for that EMP. Gotta kill that Sombra quickly. Snappy succeeds. Mamone taking down the Bora in the fight, and Levitate's forced to use that sound barrier in lieu of the lack of healing. Transcendence from Snappy does come out, and once again, I'm not a big fan of that use. Still had Verbo in the fight. Verbo's able to take down Levitate, but now they could be vulnerable to a big EMP, and Angry Titans just need one more fight win.
They absolutely do. And I mean, this is going to be last fight territory, pretty darn close to it if it's not already. Maymone's going to have a pretty fantastic duplicate. I think that you probably want to get into the Diva there. But Eli might be able to shut down the entire thing with just one press of the Q button, getting an EMP in here. You know that Maymone's looking out for them, trying to scout them out, trying to figure out where they're at and see if they can get the sticky bombs in there, take them out before the EMP comes through.
Eli was discorded there for a minute, so they've got eyes on him. They are tracking. See if Eli can sneak in, find some big value. There it is. There's the translocator. There's the EMP. 5-5. Lamone does duplicate the Diva, tosses in a self-destruct, but it doesn't keep Julo alive. As we're at 99-93, final fight territory, advantage Angry Titans. The big pile drive comes in. Lamone trying to equalize, takes down Eli in the fight, but Crocs responds, trading out for Snape. Verbo's rally now fading off a bit, only a touch of armor left. Lamone picks up the second kill of the fight, trying to keep VASTA in this. All the while, Angry Titans have flipped the point. And it's up to VASTA to come take it back and fall and levitate, denying that opportunity fall, finding their second kill of the fight. And VASTA dying, trying to get back in here. Angry Titans tying us up on Lijiang.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic last fight there. And, the order of operations that we saw Angry Titans take that last fight, it just all seemed to be a domino effect, starting with the sound barrier that was invested in the EMP. And I mean, we just saw everything come out, even the duplicate that we saw come out from Maimone, which was the right call going onto the Diva, did not get into the air and really cause any kind of disruption with the self-destruct that he got. So, we're going to Control Center now. We've already seen Crocs pull out the Reinhardt once today. I think that this is going to maybe favor Angry Titans into this fight because that they're pretty good on it. Julo more known for the ball play, so this might be a moment where you want to think, oh man, Rocket could have been such a good player here. But we see Crocs and Julo, they're going to be duking it out here.
From a maintain perspective, I think VASTA was hoping that they could win it in 2 and that Control Center would come up 3rd. Well, they got Night Market and Gardens as their opening 2 rounds, but were not able to close it. And now, like you say, you're forced to play the Reinhardt, perhaps not Julo's favorite hero. Certainly, Rocket is typically the Reinhardt player for this series. Looks like we are going to end up getting the Junkrat. The Junkrat Symmetra has turned into such an interesting strategy here on Control Center. Control Center has its own little micro meta built into it, Billy, and I just find it so fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. Also, we've seen Maimone bring out a Doom on this map before, and his Doom is absolutely lethal. If he gets the punches into the walls, it's going to be a very fast fight going into it. So how do you counter against that? I think that you set up your turrets from Eli if you're going to keep the Symmetra going in there. You also throw down the trap. See if you can catch an angry Doomfist flying through the sky. And then the focus fire's got to come down there because, I mean, getting the shields back from the seismic slam. Everything in Doomfist kit really plays into the brawl nature of Control Center. So that's what I really want to see is how are they going to address if Memon does go ahead and go with this. They're going to have some issues. I mean, Levitate might be another person that could be into that matter, booping him away from an intended target.
Yeah, see, when I play in Doomfist, I'm always nervous going into a Symmetra Junkrat. I feel like there's a lot of danger flying into that. So Angry Titans might just have the key to keep Memon at bay, but like you say, it's going to come down to execution, and it's going to come down to positioning around those Symmetra turrets. Looks like we just got a bit of a pause. Apparently we're having some communication issues here. You know what? We'll take a moment. Okay. I was about to start talking about Angry Titans history and stuff here. Like, I was ready to go, but you know what? We'll save that for another time. Let's get into Control Center.
Absolutely. I mean, using the teleporter right out the gate. We're going to get that impression coming in from both Eli and Fall, who's pulled up the mantle of the Junkrat. A point presence right now in favor of VASTA Gaming.
As right now, Pure Irish just frozen in place. We're getting a nice look at those Contender skin, hoping that, maybe you viewers will get that Sigma skin in the future. All right, we're back to the Reinhardt brawl on the point, and it's Crocs finding the better end of the hammer swinging. Memon trying to go in and punch his way to victory, but it's just forced out. Kage does get the pick onto Eli, so it's still a 5v5, but absent their main tank, Vost is forced to back up.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Kage's ult charge. He's on 81% to fall 60, so he's definitely getting the spam damage in there that you want to see. Both teams deciding to employ also the Baptiste, and both amplification matrices come out at the same time.
It's Crocs going down first in this fight. Pure Irish responds with a very nice gravitic flux, finding 3. All 3 fall with a little bit of follow-up. And Angry Titans maintaining control of the point, and they'll have a couple of ultimates to work with, Billy.
Yeah, and we saw Kage's tire come out, and then a very nice flash of the shield from Pure Irish actually denied the explosive nature of it, so they didn't get any value out of that, and Fall's going to have their own to answer with. Crossing 50% here. We're tied up 1-1 here in Control Center on our first map of Control, and the pressure starting to come in from VASTA Gaming, and you've got Gravitic Flux. You're going to have Shatter online as well, and the Seismic Slam also going to be ready to go.
Flux comes out, but the sound barrier is there. Kage swapped over to the Reaper to try to add some more frontline pressure to accompany Memon, but now their DPS partner's gone. Back at spawn, Tire coming out from Angry Titans, and Nipahog's able to take it out. The very last moment. One more frame, and that Tire would have demolished, decimated both tanks. But Nipahog had other plans, and Julo's able to take Crocs out of the fight, and Kage trying to put some hurt on the backline. Memon is able to land that one-punch hero. VASTA able to flip this point.
Yeah, 87%, so they're going to have to be very careful about which fights they take, and if you are Angry Titans right now, you're not giving them that option of which fight they're going to take. You've got Shatter, you've got Amp Matrix, you're going to have, probably a Flux at the end of this first fight, unless it's a very quick fight, but to answer them, Shatter and Meteor Strike.
Looking for that. So you can see Julo looking for it, trying to work around the Reinhardt, but Crocs has got him in check. Now, putting the hammer swings in, intimidating back, and Crocs is going low. Immortality Field forced out early, but Pure Irish is able to take care of the Doomfist on the back. First Shatter blocked by Julo, and he responds, is able to find several with it. Kage gets the follow-up on to Freyu. And now advantage VASTA on the point. Nipahog takes to the skies, but Pure Irish beats him to the punch. Finds a pair of kills. Nipahog and Verbo do respond, and it's a 4v2 on the point in favor of VASTA Gaming. They're looking to clean things up, and Levitate suffers a quick death.
Yeah, I mean, Tire's going to come up for Fall here, so I think that's going to be your win condition to try and wrest this point from VASTA Gaming, because they invested a lot into that fight and did not get any return for it. But Kage, Death Blossom almost online, Sound Barrier ready to go. This is going to be a defense coming out from VASTA Gaming. Really Angry Titans have got to figure out a path to get in there, otherwise the sustain is just going to keep them out.
Fire in the hole, screams the Junkrat as the tire barrels towards the team. Verbo eats the brunt of that. Freyu finds a kill as well. Now, Fall does fall while mid-tire, so it's just a +1, but VASTA are missing one of their healers. Pure Irish is going to clean up Julo in absence of that healing. Kage and Snape just hanging around the outside, knowing that they're going to have to touch this point. Pure Irish has found them out, and now under a lot of pressure. Immortality field down from Snape, but here comes a Death Blossom from Eli, and it finds 3! Closing things out for Angry Titans. Shatter through from Julo finds nothing. Eli gets 2 more. That's a 5K for Eli in this fight. It's just the ball left. Oh, come on. Give Eli the 6-piece. Give him the ace. We'll give Angry Titans the win on this map. Overtime Wick burns. Angry Titans taking the 1-0 lead on the one map I thought VASTA really had a chance of winning.
Bullskunk, we said it in the beginning. Eli would need to put this team on his back to carry them to the promised land, and there is no more clutch play than what we just saw there. They were waning in the minutes of overtime there, and they had to get a flip. They had to get the assassinations, and boy, did he ever. A 5K to wipe the team out. Nipahog coming back on the ball. Not enough to keep up anything there, and they take the opening control round 2-1. Man, that was an exciting round. Back and forth, chaotic nature of control that it was. Man, I thought VASTA really had a chance to take this map as well, but just some great coordinated team play coming out of Angry Titans. You know, we talked about them having a little bit of turnover in their ranks, but man, this team right now firing on all cylinders.
And executing that perfection that I was saying that they had to do. I mean, like this, even if they're perfect, their fate is not in their own hands. Angry Titans need OT Pog to beat Olden Board in their matchup today and kind of level the playing field and give Angry Titans a chance to beat OT Pog tomorrow. But first and foremost, Angry Titans need to go 3-0 today and make sure they can get that map score above the rest of the pack. That opening victory on Lijiang will go a long way to doing that. They may have the edge as we head into Rialto, though I will say VASTA had a beautiful attack on Rialto when we saw them Thursday. So, I mean, this is not done and dusted yet. Angry Titans need to stay focused.
Yeah, they have to stay focused, and Eli, once again, has got to keep pulling out the results. He's got to keep the performance up that he's showing so far. You know, kind of lackluster on the Sombra, on Gardens. You know, got better results on Night Market, obviously, as they win that point. And then bringing out the Reaper when it was needed the most. You know, you didn't see much frags coming out from the Symmetra, but the Reaper play, once they swapped to Reaper, that is when it really changed. And just I mean, I never saw him come in until I saw him teleport into the frame. Never saw where he was at. Never saw him get the charges that he was needed to get for his Death Blossom, but he would show up every once in a while into the kill feed. So we're looking at now, we're looking at Angry Titans going on to the defense, I believe. No, they're going on to the attack here.
VASTA is defending, yes, sir.
Yeah, VASTA is defending here, and man, we're going to see what Julo and Nipahog can bring to this. We've got the hamster feet coming out with the what's becoming almost the standard meta right now. The Soldier and the Tracer. You got the long range proc along with the nuisance factor of a Tracer, and then the Zenyatta and Verbo bringing in the support core.
Yeah, the Zen and the Brig. The Brig is there. You can get the long distance healing on players like Tracer, and accordance or in accompanying a healing orb, it can make Tracer just unkillable. And then, you know, Soldier, newly buffed, like I mentioned earlier, 30 rounds in the clip can put it down some sustained damage and can help fall back and provide some of that additional healing on the back line. So we're seeing a lot of this composition for a reason, Billy. And Angry Titans, though, feigning a bit of pirate ship inside the spawn, coming out with a mirror call.
I mean, we love to see it, and this is where we're going to be is able to sustain the back line the best. So will the peel come from the Soldier and drop that biotic field when it's necessary and take the aggression coming? Snapple with a headshot on the Levitate. That is a great start for them. 5v6 or 6v5 going through the first corner here.
Yeah, Kage with some great high ground. And unlike what we saw in our last series, the way VASTA are spread out, they're able to prevent the flank from getting up there. But Fall wins the duel against Mimone. And now Fall's a little bit more free to push in through the mega courtyard on the outside. You can see him putting pressure on a Nipahog right now, who's oh so low. About 75 health, and there goes the rest of that 75, clearly within one clip territory. Fall able to get that final blow, and Crocs moves up and cleans off Mimone once again as they fall to their second death in this engagement.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just the rotations that are coming through for Angry Titans, as I don't know if there's going to be any kind of a contest here on the point near 3 meters. No, I think they're going to go ahead and give up point A for free. 5 minutes in the clock, Bullskunk. That is very interesting as we see coming into this to the streets phase of Rialto. Man, Mimone's going to have to get a fast pulse bomb up and really stop the aggression coming in from Angry Titans.
Yeah, Kage maybe offensive value with this tac visor as well. Positioning will be key. And I'm very anxious to see how they choose to set up. Getting the high ground in the first one, I anticipate Kage is going to be in the high ground inside the Opera House right now. But Croc's doing a good job of keeping that in check so far. Okay, so Kage is going to rotate around and have that long sight line down the street alongside the river of Rialto. We're going to get the clash over this high ground. Kage's going to go and drop that tac visor, but Freyu right there with the Transcendence. Snape not dropping theirs in time to save Julo. It does eventually come out, and Levitate falls. So, one trade each. And there we go with two more. Pure Irish and Crocs, giving Angry Titans a +1 in this fight as they look to clean up on the back and push around the corner of death.
Absolutely, and mines coming out from Crocs, really denying the space that VASTA are trying to take. And look at them, they are just harassing this poor Wrecking Ball for VASTA Gaming, and he goes down. And I mean, the contest is not going to be here coming around the corner. I mean, they've got to really start pushing into Angry Titans, otherwise it's going to be game over real fast. You're going to point 3.
Yeah, VASTA really neglected one of the biggest strengths of that corner, is you have great routes of retreat to where you can kite back and use the double corner if the high ground fails. Unfortunately, I think they got surrounded before they got the heck out of dodge, and Angry Titans were able to close the gap. Now, there has been a slight stabilization on the back end, as Angry Titans were not able to push that advantage quickly enough. And now looking to push out the top doors, but they will have the high ground on the back of point B. But just a pulse bomb to work with from both teams.
Yeah, and I think that they honestly, ooh, what a pile drive. I didn't realize that Levitate had gotten that low.
Yeah, and Mimone drops the pulse bomb down. Freyu falls, and VASTA certainly stabilizing on the back of those two picks.
Indeed, and Pure Irish committing die on himself, probably with a hypersphere to his own face. Julo once again getting another pile driver. So, you know, we saw the mines come out at the end of the beginning of the previous fight, already 80% to the next set of mines. That's great value for this hero. Now, you know, I think that the last fight, why they retreated, they wanted to just wait out Verbo's rally because they didn't have the numbers advantage. They didn't have the positional advantage either. So, you know, just waiting out the rally, you know, they just denied the value of it. I mean, it does take a little time off the clock, but, you know, when you're pushing in the way they've been pushing, they've got to get the aggression going now. You've got the pulse bomb. You've got rally.
Speaking of pulse bombs,
get in them.
That's going to land on the Verbo and take the Brig out of the fight. Now you're left with just a healing orb to sustain your tanks through the fight. And I guess a heal station as well, but neither are enough to keep Julo alive. And that's a +2 to Angry Titans as they look to clean up point B. A lot of pressure onto Nipahog. Does get a touch of healing from the Transcendence, but still, nevertheless, burns through. Too much damage coming out from Eli as he drops the tac visor to clean up the point.
This just clean up right now, 1:15 on the clock. This is going to be a great time bank going into point 3 here. Verbo does have a rally though. That's the saving grace going into this. Also, both tank ultimates ready for VASTA Gaming. All has already gotten another pulse bomb in from the last extermination of Verbo. He's already worked up to another pulse bomb. So great value being shown by Fall here on the Tracer.
Absolutely. Been doing some work Fall has in this map right now. Over the top, mines down from Julo. Just going to dislodge Angry Titans a little bit as they're forced back out of the entryway there. And are falling, rotating to the bottom of the street. Nipahog might be able to catch him with this Gravitic Flux. Okay, is going to save it, going to hold on to it. And Angry Titans now pathing back up to the high ground.
What you're really looking for is for you to get this Transcendence up in the next 10-15 seconds. Otherwise, Nipahog's just going to let him have it.
Kage goes down early, or finds a kill early, excuse me. Momon picking up one as well. And another good hold with just 90 seconds on the clock. VASTA have really put up a bulwark on point C.
Yep, and you got Snappa coming up on Transcendence as well. So, you know, Fryu has a Transcendence available. You know, and I think that getting taken out of the fight earlier, that early pick, put into Nipahog's head that they didn't have to commit that in there. That's a great stick onto Eli from Maimone. You got to get in there, get the aggression going, because they're playing it just a little bit too passively to take this third point.
And Mamone with a very high risk play going right into the heart of Angry Titans, but now with the stick that forces them to wait, and that allows Nipahog to get that Gravitic Flux out, which forces out Transcendence and the rally from Angry Titans using both of their support ults. They are forced to push in now. Oh, but Fall lands the stick mid Gravitic Flux, and the Flux doing enough damage so Crocs can come in and get the cleanup. Angry Titans make use of the two ults used early in the fight, come back and get the win on that engagement.
Oh my goodness, that was fantastic coming out from Angry Titans there. Crocs does have these mines to section off and get as much progress as he can get on this. You know, they do have a chance maybe to get in there and get the power play and get the mines on the point and get the remainder of point 3 here.
Well, they got one last chance to make it happen. Eli's going to drop the tack visor as the dramatic music starts to ring. Throwing it down, finds nothing but shields and kinetic grasp, but Nipahog eventually burned through. 2 kills come from the other side, a DPS picking up a kill each, and it's a +1/+2 for the defense thanks to a gorgeous stick from Mamone. And VASTA should be able to hold here. It's just one last lone soldier on the point. Angry Titans will not be able to get the third point on the board.
Your winning condition is set, and that was I thought that those 4 picks coming around the corner there were going to be all that they needed to get in there, but there was just a little bit too much time and space to cover. I think that if Eli rotates on to either the right side or tries to get it behind them and drop that tack visor, I think you get a little bit more value, turn the attention away from the point, and the rest of your team can do what they need to do there. But win condition set to tie up this series. If you are VASTA Gaming needs to really push into what Angry Titans are going to be throwing at them as far as defensively. Any reason to change this composition? I don't think so. I think that I'm liking both Julo and Crocs on the ball. I think Pure Irish has got a little bit more value out of the Sigma than what we've seen from Nipahog. So in that department, I think that it's a +1 to Angry Titans. But man, I think Snappa and Verbo might be outplaying Fryu and Levitate in just the slightest way.
And this map is super important for Angry Titans to win. Every map point is going to matter in their ability to make it into Contenders proper, grab that coveted second place slot, and not only to make it into Contenders, but into Gauntlet. And VASTA put up an amazing time on this map on Thursday against OT Pog. We'll see if they can replicate that, tie up the series, as VASTA heads on to the attack. And indeed, doesn't look like a whole lot of swaps. Kage going over to Widowmaker, probably just looking for an opening pick, and I anticipate they'll go back to the Soldier.
Yep, found nothing but shields there, Bulls Skunk. So go back over to the Soldier, get that shield break, get that long range poke going on, and make sure that you're there for your healers. That's one thing I didn't see much coming from Eli. I didn't see him peeling as much going into the back line and keeping his sports up. So we'll need to see if that's going to be a trend. Otherwise, was it a one-time thing?
Well, Snappy drops early in the fight. VASTA just going to have to play it slow until they get all their reinforcements back. In the meantime, Amon's going to loop around through the Mega Courtyard. Julo heading up there as well. Angry Titans, pretty much all of them sitting up on the high ground except for those aforementioned flankers. You can see fall down low, just around the corner from Cart. Oh, that's Zenyatta needs to be careful. Oh, just almost walked into, yeah, and Kage walks into trouble, right into the web. VASTA unknowingly traversed, and Angry Titans pounce. Find a couple kills. Now VASTA do strike back and pick up a pair of their own. Mamone is low, able to find some healing. The Brig is very low as well. Cross tried to go in, but gets immediately sent back thanks to a flail. And both teams now just kind of retreating to their separate corners. There is going to be a contest in the back of this, Billy.
And Fall does have pulse bump, so that could be a point of aggression to stop them from capturing this first point. They're taking Kage out.
Which will leave that back line more vulnerable. Levitate pushes in and takes Julo off the front. Mamone is able to find a kill under Furiyu, and that'll deny Transcendence from coming out this fight. But Angry Titans have done enough damage to send VASTA back.
It's just a hard reset here. I mean, they had too many losses going into that fight. Crocs is going to get the mines up here. If he can get the mines up before the aggression comes in from VASTA, that's going to be a hell of a point of contention for them to get this point through the archway here.
Pure Irish coming up on a flux as well. Crocs going over to the top. Some mines at the ready. But doesn't choose to pull the trigger on that just yet. Doesn't need it. As Furiyu and Fall come up with a pair. Crocs just doing so much disruption while the heads are turned. The front line pushes through and finds the kills. Fall's been outstanding on this Tracer today, Billy.
You know, and what really enabled that entire fight was that Accretion that came out from Pure Irish and just decking everybody on the ground. And now you've got 5 ultimates ready to go. 75 seconds, Bull Skunk. I don't know about you, but I would be getting very nervous here if I was VASTA Gaming. You've got to start pressing Q. You've got to start committing something. Maybe starting out with the rally and pushing into Angry Titans and then dropping your Gravitic Flux. That should be the order of operations here, going in and trying to take this first point.
I don't know how recent the information is, but last I heard, there's more full holds on Rialto than any other map in Overwatch. And particularly with this highly aggressive meta where we're seeing multiple extra innings, Angry Titans putting up a heck of a defense, though they lose too early. Pure Irish is able to strike back and take Nipahog out of the fight, but Kage taking down their counterpart Soldier means it is a 2-man advantage for VASTA, and they have a mere 3 meters to go to pick up that first point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the duo, the support duo, just getting so much work done there, and you pop the Transcendence when you're up 3 in the fight. That's oof.
Yeah, it's a little questionable, but good news for VASTA is there's not really anything. You don't have a flux to worry about. You don't have mines to worry about. So there is time for Snappe to get the ult rotation in sync with the tanks from Angry Titans.
I mean, you know, you'll be able to progress with the mines coming from Julo. So that's a good point for them to build upon. What I want to see next is Kage needs to get a little bit more work done on this wrecking ball. I did like the attack visor that came out earlier, though. That was a fantastically cordoned off space that Angry Titans just couldn't get back into.
Ooh, Snappe was under so much pressure, just got focused down and deleted. I'm not sure where they were to get picked off like that. I think the rotation came through where Snappe didn't make it up those stairs. Angry Titans pour out the back, and without that Discord, it's a clear damage advantage. Eli finding a pair of kills to help win that fight. R2 kills the other way, but I don't think it's going to amount to much.
No, I mean, it's just time wasting right now, and that's exactly playing into what Angry Titans want to do. They want to waste your time. They want you to slow down. They want you to have to reconsider where you're going into. Pure Irish coming up on a Gravitic Flux, that is going to absolutely slow them down if it doesn't exterminate them. But you've still got mines. You've got the tac visor ready to go. Nothing to defend against this upcoming Gravitic Flux, though, if you are VASTA Gaming.
For this corner, those mines can be fight winning as they come out over the stairs as anticipated, and Furiyu cannot escape. Zenyatta down 83 to Transcendence, and Nipahog is going to pick off the other support. No more supports for the defense. We'll see if they can clap back quickly. Otherwise, this fight will go to VASTA. Indeed, that kill feed is all green right now.
It is all green, and they are starting to push here around the corner. 50 seconds left on the clock. They've got bevy of ultimates get ready to come up. You're going to have the Gravitic Flux. You've got both DPS ultimates. Verbo's going to be able to beef you up with the rally, but you're going to answer back with Pulse Bomb and Mines. There's the stick. Irish goes down.
Down. A beautiful stick. Now Attack Visor dropped in the back from Kage. They got Mines to get past. Transcendence used from the defense as well, despite losing their Sigma early in the fight. They don't have that shield, and it means Eli has no cover to stand behind. Gravitic Flux comes through, cleans up after the Transcendence wears off. And that's a $145 on the clock for VASTA as they look to push into the back of Cathedral.
Transcendence and Mines. Next coming up for VASTA Gaming. You've got 90 seconds to get it to the 84.34 mark and take your tie here in our series. And, not much on the line other than a Pulse Bomb and the rally for Levitate. So they do have some tools that they'll be able to deny the pressure coming into them. But look at Nipahog just taking space and taking names as he goes along. Fall does get a quick assassination on Maymun, though.
Yeah, speaking of taking names, Fall with that early kill. Certainly going to start things off right. Crocs is going to find one of their own. Now the pressure down onto Verbo, and it's just too much pressure. They cannot survive, and Angry Titans will hold on to get the clock under 60 seconds. And now, Boston in a very dangerous spot.
The real thing here now is how far forward do they hold? Do they push the advantage here, and take 2 fights? If they do lose this first fight, because right now they've got the tools online to hold here. They can deny the space coming in from Nipahog and Julo, but Julo could actually swing past them, drop mines on the space. Oh my goodness, Fryu! That is huge!
That was a great read by the team. Angry Titans not allowing any kind of back cap to take place. Though they do give up that first fight. Now there's 20 seconds on the clock for VASTA to make something happen.
Sigma 9 is on the board. You can lift them off in overtime, and I mean, if you get any kind of work going into it, Pulse Bomb, that is also a huge trade for them.
And Falls under a lot of pressure. Kage able to find that kill, +2 to the attackers, make that +3. As Julo drops the mines, finds Eli with that. And they don't even have to go all the way into the Cathedral. Just most of the way in to take this victory. And we're not going to extra innings. We are going to find a victor in this next fight. It's only going to be half a fight for Angry Titans. They need to come out big with the ultimates they do have, and they've got to make it happen quickly. Can this stick turn it around? No. The stick is going to go wide, not finding the target. Now it's Crocs' turn to come out, try to stall. Attack Visor shut down by Mamone. It's up to Pure Irish to get out here with a big Flux. Flux is coming in. It whiffs completely, finds no one. The Transcendence is out from Freyu, but it falls off quickly as that tapers down. Julo takes Freyu down, and this is a big advantage for VASTA in this fight. They can get the kills. They can take it home. They can tie up the series, and it looks like they are finding success. They're going to lose Kage, so they're -1 on the attack. Each member, Angry Titan, or VASTA loses is super important at this late in the game, but it looks like Eli or Kage is the only victim. The rest is all VASTA from here. They're going to push it in. They're going to tie it up. We are 1-1, Billy.
We're 1-1 and on the back of some serious cojones being shown by VASTA Gaming. Just crucial picks coming in at the most beneficial time, and they absolutely get the win here. They're going to tie us up here, and I mean, man, the support core of Snappa and Verbo keeping up the team throughout all that pressure on the third point. My goodness, Maymone has been just destroying it on this Tracer as well. I like it almost better than their Echo.
There's some good individual play. I mean, I think the teamwork from VASTA was very nice. We saw Julo pushing into the back, and almost got my main tank swap there for a second. Don't let that happen, friends. But we saw Julo push into the back, and we called that the Angry Titans wasn't going to let a back cap happen, but what it did is it forced them to retreat and basically gave a free fight to VASTA on that back point, which means they only had to win the fight on the cart. They didn't have to win a fight up front and a fight on the cart. It was a good play. I mean, just all around plays like that, smart teamwork gave VASTA that win. And now Contenders proper looking more and more in the distance for Angry Titans, and they're I'm worried for him, Billy. I'm worried for him.
Yeah, I'm worried for them too. I mean, they're back to the original -2 map differential here in the third place tie that is Group B, with all these teams just clumped up at 1 and 2. Now, they can still find a path there, right? They can still, take the next 2 maps and get that +2 map differential that they need. But man, every time they lose a map, it's giving OTPOG and Olden Board above them just that extra bit of distance and space.
So we'll find out here once we head into map 3. We're gonna take 60 seconds. We'll see you on the other side of this break. We're tied 1-1 at the half. We're heading to Volskaya in this 1-3 series. These are fixed map, no loser pick here in Trials. VASTA Gaming able to pull through on Rialto. It looks like they're going to start us off on the attack. See if they can set up another great time. Put Angry Titans on the back foot. And I think they got the wind in their back right now, Billy.
I mean, you have to be emboldened by that. I mean, 30 seconds left on the clock, and they were able to push it in. Man, that is empowering, to say the least. But, we're going to see Angry Titans on the defense here. And Julo and company are going to be on the attack first.
Yep.
Question mark? Yep.
VASTA going on the attack. Angry Titans, looks like they're sticking with the hamster feet composition with the soldier and the tracer. So we looking for Croxton. Yeah, I was going to say, we looking for Croxton Fall to put all that pressure on the flank. See if Pure Irish can keep Eli and those supports alive, just escorting them around. And like we were talking about, that soldier can just provide that extra peel and that extra bit of healing, because Brig and Zen don't have a whole lot of heal output.
No, they really don't. And that's one thing that I wanted to question was, Fryu on this Zenyatta, not as bloodthirsty as we've seen some of the Zenyatas that we've seen here in Contenders Trials this season. So maybe a little bit more damage output. Maybe he's concentrating a little bit more on healing as well.
VASTA gonna swap over to the Echo with the Wrecking Ball and the Diva leading the charge. Sticking with the backline, so they're not bringing the Mercy to pocket the Echo. They're going to rely on the heal packs to keep the Echo alive. I don't mind this. I call this the WGS Special. This is what we saw WGS Phoenix win over Runaway, which Runaway was running the same composition. we get to see both those teams in the gauntlet, which I am very much looking forward to. Angry Titans suffering an early casualty in this fight, and Ramon just sneaks up on Crocs. Oh, Crocs was able to get the D-Mech and the Nipplehog and roll out of harm's way. And it's going to force VASTA to pause for a moment as they move up to the high ground, but Angry Titans just swarming them right now. I don't see them surviving in that corner for very long.
Nah, but the kills are going VASTA's way.
It's true, they're fracking out. Yeah, they're
fracking out.
Angry Titans went up there to try to collapse on him as I anticipated and just ran into so much damage. Mamone and Nipplehog were able to pull through, or Mamone and Julo, excuse me. That was a beautiful play. I thought they were in deep trouble, and no, it was Angry Titans who are back in spawn and now looking down the barrel of a 5-minute, 30-second time bank.
I mean, they blew through Pure Irish's shield first, and then you saw the sticky bobs from Mamone come through, and then you saw the focusing beam, and I mean...
That's a DC. So, we're just going to take a quick technical pause and get this sorted for you. Apologies, friends. We'll get back into the game shortly. And we are back. We had a bit of an unluckers situation. Apparently a car ran into the electrical pole of our producer. And that caused a little bit of an outing there, so apologies for the interruption, my friends. But we are back on Volskaya. VASTA was able to complete their cap with just a hair over 2 minutes left on the clock. Well, Billy, it looks like you won the bet on our time there. Angry Titans going on to the attack, sticking with the same composition as they path around the far right side to claim this high ground.
Yeah, poke damage is going to be really intensified here. You've got to get the shielding down or start getting a point presence and force the rotation coming out of VASTA Gaming. So what we want to see, how are they going to progress here? How are they going to make them come down? I just say get toes on there. Maybe a volley coming from Fryu will also do the trick.
Yeah, but I believe Nipplehog got knocked off out of that shielding. And now Julo taken out from the shots of Eli. And that's no more tanks left standing for VASTA. They don't have the point presence to fend Angry Titans off. I mean, I think they just need to reset now. There's no way you're getting those tanks back. And you don't want to just feed more ult charge, which is exactly what they're doing right now, Billy.
Snappa's going to go down in a heap there. That's going to be almost as fast, if not faster, than what we saw come out from VASTA Gaming on their own attack. 541 pushing into point B. You're going to have Pulse Bomb already available from Fall, so we see the value being gotten by that hero. Eli, they're going to have to push in really hard. I think that you've got to focus down Snappa or Verbo in the first place to get them off the point and really deny the damage coming in and the sustain coming out from Verbo's Inspire healing.
Fall, waiting for the right time, pushing around to the flank, looking for those two supports with the Pulse Bomb. Drops the Pulse Bomb, but cannot get the stick. The supports of Snappy and Verbo able to dodge the explosion, and Fall is forced to retreat back to the rest of his team. Now, Angry Titans, the front line, pushing up coast side, claiming the high ground once again, but they gotta watch their backs as the Pulse Bomb comes through. This one also whiffs. Both Tracers not finding their marks onto the support lines, but Nipplehog finds the kill on the Crocs, taking out the initiation tool for Angry Titans, and now the other 5 members are waiting awkwardly, stuck in the corner of this high ground in deep enemy territory. Eli just taking a trip off the side as the reset comes through.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand why you just stay there. You just throw yourself off and get the hard reset. Because you fed quite a bit of ult charge into VASTA Gaming's defense now. You do have a Transcendence ready to go from Fryu, so, you know, when Nipplehog does unleash this Gravitic Flux, you're going to have something to keep you up through it. But Snappa also has one of their own, and Julo coming up close on their mind, so the choke points will have to be looked after very carefully.
And Angry Titans still 20% away on both of their tank ults. So this is going to demand a little bit of slow play, get some of the damage in, but Julo is stalking, hiding, waiting for the opportune moment to throw down the minefield. Kage with attack visor, just hold down the high ground, holding down the flanks, not allowing Angry Titans to make that same rotation. Freyu gets punished as they try to cross over the middle. Mines out, protecting main. And Julo able to just retreat back onto the objective. Now has cover from all sides. VASTA so far have this point on lockdown.
They really do, but you know, you're coming up on a full 6-pack of ultimates, so either this is going to be explosive or it's going to be very quick. If you are Angry Titans, they've got to start the initiation at some point. How are they going to aggress in their Mamone whiffs on this Pulse Bomb once again?
But did quite a bit of damage to Eli and Pure Iris. That forced Rally out a little early, which means they have to go now. Flux countered by Transcendence. Transcendence out from the other side. If Pure Iris can wait this thing out, a huge Flux from Angry Titans might win it. He gets 2 with the Flux, and they're going to go down. Tackvisor from the other side might equalize. Nipplehog's able to find a kill before falling to the shots from Crocs. VASTA, with the spawn advantage, have done enough to hang on. I don't think Angry Titans are even going to get 1 tick of progress.
Nope, I don't think so. I know you dropped your mines just to try and take a Soldier 76 out of the picture. That's a waste of an ultimate. And I mean, I'm not sure what the thought process was behind that, but now you've just emptied your entire clip and got nothing for it. Jula's going to be the only one standing on the field. Well, I say that and I put my foot in my mouth as I look at Maymon almost up to another Pulse Bomb. So you're going to have 2 ultimates versus 0 coming from the attackers here. This is getting to be a bit of a dire straight situation for Angry Titans. I think they might be in trouble, Bullskunk.
It's looking like it because the rotations can start coming through from VASTA's ultimates. we're just going to need to see a disciplined dry push from Angry Titans to try to get some of these ults out and not use anything of their own. Either that or some fantastic individual performance, some picks in the mid fight, but it's Snappy finding that value, finding that kill to start things off for VASTA. And now with a $140 on the clock, Angry Titans are just stuck outside the doors.
They're stuck and without a paddle either. I mean, Julo's going to be able to deny space with another set of mines. This will be number 4 in this defense of the first and second points. But look at Fall trying to get a little bit aggressive into it. And Mamone is just putting so much nuisance factor on this Tracer. Absolutely winning the Tracer duels right now, winning the value gotten out of that little hero. Flux up for Nipahog. Pure Irish is only 51%. They're just being passive. That's all this is pure passivity.
And the Flux out from the other side. Yeah, may have caught Eli, because usually you don't finish the hand animation if you whiff, and Eli did fall. It was hard to tell from that angle, but the end result's still the same, and that's 2 casualties for Angry Titans, which means yet another reset coming through.
And Mamone just absolutely owning it right now. I pointed it out before, just in the last fight, another pulse bomb gotten. It's on cooldown right now, Bullskunk.
Certainly appears that way. And I think Fall was trying to bait out Transcendence before, but Snappy didn't quite have it available because they didn't even throw the pulse bomb when they made that last attempt on the flank. If that attempt works on this and final attack, I mean, it's going to take something creative and heroic of that nature for Angry Titans to cap this. Otherwise, they're going down 2-1 in this series, Billy, and they cannot afford that right now. Kage's going to drop the tack visor from the high ground, start laying down that 30-round clip. But Freyu answers, beautiful volley of headshots, and that's the opening pick Angry Titans needed. Ball goes up to the top, but the pulse bomb finds Zilch. Now, the Transcendence is out. Pure Irish, 98% to Gravitic Flux could be the answer they need. It's going to come out immediately with Transcendence for Angry Titans to boot. And that's going to net them a pair of kills. Mines dropping the point. There's only one way in for VASTA. Kage comes in that way and gets answered by a ton of damage. 2 ticks on the board here for Angry Titans. But even still, the best they can hope for is a draw, as VASTA will have 2 minutes and 1 second in the time bank. That's still puts Angry Titans in a very desperate position.
Bullskunk, it was the passivity of their attack. They never seemed like they had the gumption to push when they needed to push. They were waiting for something to happen. And they just didn't have the impetus to get in there. And I'm not sure if maybe he's trading up one of the heroes there, maybe to give a different look. But I mean, we didn't see the denial of space coming from Crocs as we did on the control point. We didn't see Pure Irish, flashing that shield, recalling it back, and really taking the space and taking it into what VASTA Gaming are doing. So I mean, there's a win condition set here. 1 tick in 2 minutes. We saw what they did on their first attack, and if Ryu's not careful, he's going to get sticky bombed in the face again and be deleted out of the server once again.
We're going to get a little bit composition swap, possibly, for the attack. Still about 15 seconds to change their mind. No swaps from the defense of Angry Titans, as they're determined to make this hamster feet composition work. Now, what do you think they could do to change this up? I mean, we've seen this composition work multiple times, but somehow Angry Titans are failing to execute.
No, is it not enough peel from Eli for the supports? I mean, he's standing there right there with them. So is it cooldown management? Is it just a little bit better understanding of the meta of this hamster feet composition? That might be just a fundamental difference between the two of them.
And Angry Titans do look a little better on the defense with this comp, but not a whole lot better, as Mamone comes in with a double kill with the focusing beam. Kage is there with another one as well, and this is done and dusted. The mighty Titans have certainly fallen, Billy, and I can see why they are angry right now. Going down 1-2 versus VASTA Gaming. VASTA on match point, looking to go up 2-2 here in November Trials.
know, and if we're going into Hollywood next, that's going to really take the wind out of their sails, because if you're trying to mirror this comp right now, Crocs has got to get a lot more disruptive. He's got to get a lot more aggressive and be there to give the harassment in the backline, because, I mean, if you looked at it, Snappa just was able to do whatever they wanted to do. Verbo just being able to heal at a whim, and just flails and whip shots and shield bashes. I mean, you're not going to deny that if you're not getting up into their faces. I mean, you saw it time and time again. You saw Snappa just take people's domes with the right click. So, man, that is just you've got to get a lot more aggressive. The passivity has to stop now, otherwise you're not going to Contenders for November.
And I mean, it almost seems to be a little bit of a different mechanics issue right now. We've seen a lot of pulse bombs with it, and yeah, that's a very difficult land and very quickly. And I think Zenyatta has been as much practice as anyone for the Titans, and I really like to step up a little bit and find that value and create those openings. The tanks are there, and I don't know, maybe it's a timing issue. I mean, you can't just blame the DPS in that scenario, right? Like there's so many factors, overlaying factors, certainly in this composition, where it's a matter of getting the space for the DPS to work. But right now, any way you slice it, the frags are not showing up for Angry Titans.
No, they're absolutely not. And I mean, Eli and Fall, Fall is getting a lot of the nuisance factor, but the final blows aren't coming through either. And Eli was non-existent on that map on Volskaya. So you saw Fryu taking dome after dome, either with the direct fire or the alt fire. It's got to come back to who is doing their job the right way. I guess that's the best way that I could describe it, is who is accomplishing the job that they're supposed to do in this composition right now. Is Crocs creating enough disruption to give Snappa and Verbo harassment in the back? Can you grapple it and bowling ball them away and take them out of their comfort zone? Because like I said, Snappa was just sitting back there and just volley after volley, and Pure Irish can't keep that shield up that long. So, win condition is set. You're on series point. Julo and company, if they keep running what they've been running here, I don't see any reason for this to change unless Eli and Fall really do take up the mantle of getting these confirmed kills, getting these confirmed final blows, and making life for Fryu and Levitate a lot easier.
And I mean, they're not bad players. That is not what we're saying here by any means. Everybody has an off day, but this is a very unlucker's timing for Angry Titans to have an off day. They needed to be flawless here if we wanted to see them in Contenders proper once again, and certainly they want to be in Contenders proper again. And with the performance today, this isn't going to cut it, as we are going to get a pause called by AT. So give us a chance to discuss this a little further. I mean, let's take a look at this. I mean, Angry Titans got first in trials for the month of October. In September, they didn't even have to play in trials because they got fourth in Contenders proper. I can't emphasize enough how out of character this series has been.
Yeah, and I mean, I just feel like they've lost their way a little bit. The focus isn't there. Maybe it's just a lack of focus. As well, maybe they came into this thinking that they were supposed to win this. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, their pedigree states otherwise, that they should really be winning this on paper, but that's just on paper. And we're looking at the VASTA Gaming right now, punching above what they're supposed to be doing. I think Nipahog's having a breakout performance as well on this off tank, the Sigma play coming from him. I mean, just looking at the kinetic grasp, I really do pay attention to the tank slot because that's what we play. And so I'm looking, how much is he gaining with kinetic grasp? How many times is he putting somebody down with an accretion? How is he managing the experimental barriers health? Sure. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, the gravitic flux is the cherry on the top. The other stuff in his kit, that's where I think the two differences are. I think Pure Irish, is matching him for the most part, but I think that in those little je ne sais quoi that are in the kit, the hyperspheres, we saw it happening, with bank shots. I mean, just the little nichest parts of his kit I think is where Nipahog is taking it to Angry Titans, and Angry Titans hasn't had an answer yet.
Well, and not only is Nipahog performing well, but the team looks more coordinated and composed than I can remember VASTA Gaming looking throughout Season 2 of Contenders Trials. And I have to attribute that to the experience of Verbo coming on to this team. That was the one big change coming into November, and this team looks renewed. As Snape finds first blood on Hollywood, opening up the door. Pure Irish is going to respond. No more legs for either side. As Soldier 76 back in spawn, forced to sprint his way back into the battle. And the team's just kind of stalling out. Mamone is going to disrupt that balance, pick up one fall, answers right back. No more Zenyatta's left on the battlefield. And VASTA are not going anywhere. They're going to keep putting pressure on this point. They're going to have a slightly faster respawn advantage. Oh, but Pure Irish does manage to push in with a little help from those mines, find the kill, and now VASTA are stuck in the alley. The tanks of Angry Titans stepping up and controlling that fight.
Absolutely, but he did get out. They did get out. They get the soft reset there. They get their health bars back up. Snappa ready to go. Maimone ready to go with the pulse bomb. Nipahog once again, and here's the niche pick that I'm talking about. Look at Nipahog's ultimate about to come online. He can throw them up and start pulling the ultimates out of Angry Titans, and then let the rest of his team do the work.
Yeah, 4 ultimates online. I mean, nearly 6 right now for VASTA as the rally comes out to initiate this fight. Kage moves up to the high ground with attack visor, is graded by Crocs. Might be losing that duel. Yeah, the Hell Station not enough to keep him alive up there. Was not able to get the attack visor out. Transcendence invested from Snape as they get the kill onto Wrecking Ball, push in, drop the mines down, and pick up 2 ticks. Now Angry Titans are stuck in Cafe, forced to drop down right into the minefield, and Fall explodes. Julo comes up with yet another on top of it, and VASTA will pick up point A and get this actor rolling in his limousine.
And we rarely do this during our cast, but I have got to thank Blizzard for that fantastic angle shot there in the cameras, showing us everything that was going on. My goodness, my friend, that was absolutely fantastic. But what a push there. What a pile driver coming from Julo. And look at this now. They're taking the high ground. Smartest thing they could do, this elevator buff and change the quality of life, is allowing teams that are on the attack or the defense to get up to this high ground and start contesting from there immediately, instead of having to wait, what it was, like 6 seconds for it to come back. So yeah.
Those opening battles are most commonly taking place across this bridge, and it makes for a very interesting dynamic. Speaking of, Kage goes down mid-tack visor. There's some well-placed shots from Eli. Now Mamone did respond, and it's a 5v5. Big pile driver into the mix, but no follow-up. As Crocs comes through and knocks VASTA off that precious high ground. Now Angry Titans can sit up here and pour in the damage. Snape falling. As Mamone was looking to go up on the other side and create a flank. But Angry Titans, they're not dissuaded whatsoever. As Eli comes up with a second kill onto Kage in this fight.
Yep, and he's winning the soldier duel, and he's doing exactly what I said that he needed to do. He needed to start putting the team on his back and start getting these final blows, and he has started to do that. He's way lapped Kage on the tack visor route. You're looking at Verbo. Verbo is going to have rally to get them into this next fight. You're looking for Crocs' mines to deny the space. Look at that. That is a fantastic swing, and they never saw it coming.
It was, what a pulse bomb! Fall finds 3 with a well-placed stick. And that is going to open up point B. Angry Titans will be able to push back this dangerous high ground and towards the back of the point. I anticipate a recontest on the back end, which means these late kills are very important for Angry Titans.
Very important, and 90 seconds, Bullskunk. So coming into this right now, you're looking at Verbo. Verbo will probably be able to get another rally up to bolster the team as they try to get back and recontest this point. They've got to get some point progress in, but you've got Transcendence available from Fryu. You've got the Tack Visor available from Eli. Croc still hasn't let loose of these mines yet also, so that's going to be Space Denial right there. And the Pure Irish. The Flux is going to be the killer, I think.
Croc's doing such a good job of just tracking the team and relaying that information. That was a big reason why Fall was able to get that 3K pulse bomb, and now 75% towards another. Here comes a pile drive, just a displace, but Eli goes down, Fall goes down. No more DPS left standing for the defense, and VASTA finding some momentum as they try to push forward. Now Angry Titans dropping down, and see if they can answer back, but none to be found. VASTA going to keep pressing through. I'm not even sure if there's time for a contest on this in front of the jail.
I mean, you've got Crocs out there on the side. He could possibly get back in touch, but I think they're just going to go ahead and let it go. I mean, you could get in there from Crocs. Yeah, Crocs is there. Drops the mines on the point. And, yeah, contested.
But Mamone with a beautiful stick takes Levitate down. Fall goes down along the way as well. Nippa Hog will get the better end of the duel. Pure Irish doesn't even need that. Gravitic Flux is going to save it for the 3rd point.
I mean, a minute and a half to get through the 3rd point here in Hollywood. They're getting the pushes that they need to now, and you're looking at Mimone and Kage getting those final blows that they need to secure not only the space but also the progress moving forward. And, you know, you did it with the Pulse Bomb onto Levitate that was trying to shield bash away from the rest of the team so it didn't have that mass effect that they were probably planning on.
Gonna get Gravitic Flux out from the Hog to start things off, but gets rocked right out of it. Transcendence there for Snapeye to try to press the attack, but it's not enough. They've got to fall back. VASTA just relegating this high ground to Angry Titans, and now they're free to sit up there and shoot, but 2 kills come through on the rotation. Mamone with a wonderful flank into the back line, and now is poised to drop another pulse bomb in the back.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the ultimates ready to go, though. You've got Mines, you've got the Attack Visor, you've got Rally, there it's initiated.
One good rock deserves another, as Pure Irish gets taken out of their flux. Mamone lands that pulse bomb and kills Levitate, but sacrifices their own life in the process. Still a slight advantage from VASTA on the attack, but they're going to have to finish this off quickly, lest the respawns come through and dash their hopes. The ball there to try to stall it out, and Pure Irish returns on the Reinhardt, both dispatched rather quickly. Now it's Eli's turn to touch point and get the rotations in, but you got to get the guy off a point to rotate the new people on. They are not able to do that. 4.1 seconds on the board.
Well, they did it with 4 seconds left, so that guarantees should Angry Titans be able to, should VASTA Gaming be able to capture the full 3 points here, they're at least going to get another shot at taking point A in extra innings. So,
yeah, no matter what Angry Titans does, VASTA will get an attack.
Yep. So, what do you do now? I mean, you know, VASTA is going to be coming out here, and the defense that they have got to bring here has got to be huge. They've got to, that Angry Titans bring out here has got to be huge. It's got to be more of the passive style. You want to let the pressure come into you and then counter-strike. Be very surgical with what you do. Make sure that you're getting the value of your cooldowns out there and stacking them in a way that doesn't allow the progress coming in from Eli and company.
Yeah, VASTA not really changing up their composition. They're sticking with the hamster feet as they take to the defense. No, don't expect any swaps at this point. I mean, I suppose you could use an Ash here with the high ground, but there's so much utility from the soldier. It works oh so well. Now Angry Titans going on the attack, trying to put up a better time, see if they can tie up this series on map 4.
I mean, the aggression's going to have to come in. It's going to have to come in pretty steady. I think that if you're looking at Julo right now, Julo's going to have to be the disruptor. In combination with Maimon, they've been doing some very nice flanks together. As you see them up here on the high ground, they're working in tandem to try and secure kills. So I'm loving the synergy that we're seeing between these two heroes.
And that synergy is so important between your Wrecking Ball and your Tracer. Push in as we see Julo get a nice slam. He's going to build up some ult charge on that, but no kills coming through. Right now, Angry Titans trying to loop around and emerge from dumpster onto the back of the objective. Looked like Fall was coming through the front. Yeah, you can see Fall right there was putting on that flank angle and does find the kill onto Julo, but Eli falls on the approach. So it's a 5v5, but that advantage will go to Angry Titans. Eli will be able to sprint back into this battle, and VASTA missing their main tank.
Yeah, I mean, here comes the ultimates online. You've got the pulse bomb, but Memon does get the win in that, but the attack fires is just going to come out from Kage. Julo also putting on the team on their back. They're going to propel this attack, and on the back of some pretty scrappy individual plays.
Yeah, Memon getting that kill on the Fall was huge. That meant the attack visor came out without any fear of getting pulse bombed. Great play from Memon, despite the fact that they died.
Yeah, Fall though, pulse bomb of their own. And what I'm looking for here is you've got to throw it onto Snappa. I believe Snappa has to be the target because you've got to think that they've got transcendence, because if Fryu's at the point that he's at and you're seeing, Snappa not only get the discords, but also the follow-up on those discords, he's getting that ultimate used and charge built up.
Memon tried the fancy stick there. It didn't quite land. Oh no, but now it's in big trouble. Fall right over the top of it. Memon was crouched down and never even saw it coming. Now the pulse bomb coming out, but the transcendence is there. Snappe reading that play and got out of there using that ultimate. But here comes the Flux on the back of that. No transcendence left to defend against all this incoming damage. And VASTA's health bars just dipping down. Kill feed lighting up for Angry Titans.
Yep, and this is exactly what they need now. They need to get out there and start pushing through the streets phase. They got to get the high ground. So Eli's probably going to go sprint along with Crocs and take the high ground and start this defense or this attack and give the pressure into VASTA Gaming. VASTA is going to have a really good reset here and take the aggression into Angry Titans.
Yeah, VASTA's already up on the high ground. Anticipate Angry Titans will go greet them up there. It looks like they're trying to decide that themselves. Which way you going here, AT? You gonna push through the gut? It looks like the Sigma went up to the high ground by themselves. It finds a kill. Nicely done. Prey's able to pick off Memon on the flank. And Julo falls on the point. Now Pure Irish is just gonna cross the bridge with his friends, and they're going to be able to sit up here and protect this high ground while the cart just gets escorted up to the jail.
And nothing really having to be used there. That was a dry push there coming through from Angry Titans. So, Verbo, coming into this defense, how long do you hold on to the rally? Well, not very long. They're going to go ahead and invest it right now and try and get into Angry Titans' control of this high ground.
Yeah, they're going to push up to the top and try to challenge him up there. And the attack visor is going to come out, but doesn't quite have the angle necessary to make good use of it. Gets stunned. Pile drive, deleted. Kage just felt the force of a very Angry Titans team. And now the remaining members of VASTA are forced to drop down to contest this point as long as possible. Stick on a Nipahog means they're sub 100 health. Pressure still coming through despite the healing from the Brig. And now the Brig, the focus of Fall's attention, will fall. Despite losing Freyu, this is Angry Titans' fight to lose.
It's absolutely their fight to lose. And look at Julo just putting the work in. They invest the Gravitic Flux there with a fight that was pretty much won at that point. So, I don't know if they just felt like they had to throw that in there and finish the fight. But trades coming back and forth. Spawns right now favoring the offense as we come into point 3. 3 minutes and 13 seconds. That's what they've got to get through the point C here. I mean, if you look at what VASTA had coming through here, they had a minute and a half. So you've doubled the time that they have. High ground secured. But Kage, what a roll through from Crocs, taking him down and then just being deleted. That's exactly what you need to see from Angry Titans, and they've got a lot on their plate right now that they can take this aggression into them with.
And it looks like they're going to push up the high ground with that aggression, but Nipahog awaits them with a big accretion rock. Memon pushing through from the other side is going to win the Tracer duel. And despite the fantastic combo play between Crocs and Freyu, VASTA emerged victorious in this fight.
My goodness, and I mean, that was really, it was a 6v5 situation for Angry Titans, and they decided to press the attack and push up into what you saw VASTA Gaming trying to defend on that high ground, and they met that aggression with a lethality that I was not prepared for. But you've got 4 ultimates online for Angry Titans. The pulse bomb's got to be huge.
Those mines could be huge. Those but the combo back. It's 2 kills each for the mines. Fall throws down the pulse bomb to be the equalizer. Takes Snap out of the fight. And oh my goodness, what an explosive play in every sense of the word. 2 members of Angry Titans remain slowly pushing this cart as far as they can, but the respawn's coming out.
They still have the ultimate advantage in their favor. They still got the rally, which is going to, of course, beat them up. But even without that, Crocs goes down. Snapper comes out and takes Pure Irish's head.
Eli's dropping the tack visor to try to answer back, but is backpedaling the entire step of the way. Mamone runs into the Helix rockets trying to pursue that kill, and now Angry Titans will respond. They've got the Flux to push in with. There's no defensive ults to counter. We'll see if another great accretion rock from Nipahog can cancel out this ult. They're going to go through the high ground. All right, Angry Titans just going to stay down low. They're going to try to push out the side door. They don't want to run out main right into Nipahog's Flux. It's going to be Pure Irish to press Q on that ultimate first as Fall gets the Tracer duel. Does get interrupted once again in Nipahog. It gets interrupted again! These accretion rocks from both sides have been canceling Gravitic Fluxes all day long. Tip of the hat to both of our Sigma players, but in the end, Nipahog's able to find that kill onto Freyu and hold on for VASTA Gaming. One last chance for Angry Titans.
And you're going to have the Transcendence to really hold back the aggression and the damage coming in. You're going to hold that probably to the last second that you can't fall, though. Has a pulse bomb. I mean, the target selection with this pulse bomb has got to be huge. But look, Julo once again getting mines and taking out his counterpart.
A disastrous start. Angry Titans, this is your Contenders chance on the line. Everything is right here. You've got one fight to show the world what you have got. Otherwise, you are going to be stuck in trials going into 2021, and we all know you don't want that. Fall's got this pulse bomb online, ready to go. Looking for that backline, looking for those juicy targets. Drops it in, but it's stunned out of it! The pulse bomb will take down Verbo, but Verbo's able to trade out. Mines out from Julo on the back of the point as the overtime wick is burning. Transcendence in from Angry Titans, but they're down both DPS. And they've got a long way to go to get back into this fight. Transcendence out from VASTA. They're pushing them off the point. The ball is there to keep the overtime wick burning. Levitate is going to fall. VASTA, they are up in this fight. This is going to take a Herculean effort, and Crocs is not able to pull it out. It is just a Tracer left. Kage takes care of it, and VASTA win the series. Oh my goodness. Angry Titans, hopes and dreams smashed into the ground by VASTA Gaming.
Snappa. That's all I need to say. 3 kills in the final fight there, just taking names, putting them in the ground, deleting them out of the server and saying, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and take this last fight win. The last, second Transcendence always wins in these fights. And my goodness, did it come true again. What a series. VASTA pulling up for us a massive upset there. And that is exactly what they wanted to see. And now they go ahead of Angry Titans in this Group B on 2-2. And now they've got a 0 map differential as well.
I mean, just looking so coordinated. Tip of the hat not only to the new pickup Verbo, but also to the coaching staff of Duke and Papa C. I mean, they looked so much better as far as composure, coordination, the way they were planning and timing their attacks. VASTA Gaming, I mean, and certainly historically, this is a massive upset.
It's massive indeed. And I mean, just the plays that came out from all of them. I mean, they played as a 6. And I refer to that sometimes. They played as a 6, and they were willing to die for each other. They were willing to fight for each other, and they absolutely came through clutch on the biggest stage for them in a while. VASTA showing that they deserve to be here in trials, and now they have gone to 2-2, 0 map differential. That's huge for them. Let's see how the rest of the week goes for them.
We got 1 day left, and that second place slot is up for grabs. Oh man, what an exciting series. Ooh. Angry Titans, you've got a little bit of an off season. 2020 was not your year. Perhaps 2021 can be. My heart breaks for you, though, but I celebrate for VASTA Gaming on a fantastic performance, able to take down this historic, legendary team. I've got no other words than that. I mean, just tip of the hat to you, VASTA Gaming. Well, we're going to get to hear some words out of their mouth directly. Give us 60 seconds to set up the interview. We'll be right back with our winners, VASTA Gaming. On the back of a fantastic win for VASTA Gaming, 3-1 over Angry Titans, joined by Zenyatta player Snape. Congratulations on the W. Thank you for joining us for this interview.
Buenos dias, buenos dias. Thanks for having me.
Buenos dias, senor. I wanted to ask, what does it feel like to beat such a historic, storied team of like Angry Titans?
It feels good. Obviously, Angry Titans is a org that has invested a lot of in Overwatch and like developed a lot of amazing players, but yeah, obviously their current roster is not the one that has all that glory from before, but it's a good roster and I respect all the players and it was a good match.
It certainly was. It certainly was. We saw that you picked up another support player. Your partner in Verbo joined the team just a few days ago. How has such an experienced player helped the team develop?
Verbo definitely shows in the team environment. He's like great mentality and experience as a professional. Obviously, he needs some training wheels when it comes to rotating with me and backing me. But outside of that, he's really positive. He's always pushing everyone, even the older guys than him, to do better. And he's been a great teammate so far.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Billy?
Now, you guys turned it around on Rialto. You got the hold there inside the cathedral just before them capturing all 3 points. When you guys turned the switch on, what was the moment that really stood out for you on Rialto that you guys thought, hey, we can actually win this?
I don't actually remember like specific details about this series, aside from 5-4 being a couple of people sometimes. But like coming to this match, like we were confident. We are always confident, so don't really think there was a switch turned on. We always go hard. Win or lose. The first map was really even. We were happy with how we played it. We just fucked up a couple of clutches, and yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Bulls.
I was just gonna say the predictions were 92% to 7% in favor of Angry Titans. What do you have to say to your doubters now?
I guess people forgot about how great me and Nipa, the old guard of this team, can be while playing the video game. And honestly, our younger players, Kagejulo and William, have like really grown this week. First 2 games we lost, and the team felt like not so confident. But coming into these last 2 games, they started to have ego. They started to rally it up. They started to make in plays, and I absolutely love it. So shout out to them.
That confidence really showed. Really showed. Billy, you have anything else? Before we let Snape go?
Yeah, I mean, any shout outs or any thanks that you want to send out to anybody? Snappa, I mean, that was a heck of a performance. I tell you what, we were shouting our heads off with you clutching out there on Hollywood. I mean, just the heads you took there. So any thanks or shout outs you want to give, now is the time.
Shout out to my mom, letting me video game in my bedroom, chilling, killing every day, every night. That's a privilege. Get to play ranked. Shout out obviously to my team, as I said already. Shout out to you guys casting and Monkey Bubble for producing this, and yeah, live on.
Cheers. We'll keep chilling and killing, my friend. We thoroughly enjoyed the match. Good luck tomorrow in your final day of trials.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. All right, friends at home. Hope you enjoyed that match as much as we did. That was an absolute thrill, but this is going to do it for us here today. We do have one more day of EMEA trials coming at you tomorrow right here on Monkey Bubble. So we hope to see all of you then. But until, y'all remember to look out for each other in game and out. And we'll see you tomorrow with more Contenders trials.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.